Welcome back to high school football on AT&T Broadband. Tonight, the North Coast section playoffs begin as the Antioch Panthers battle the De La Salle Spartans. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez as always. And Steve, you know, Ferris Anthony said it really nicely this week. He said someone's got to beat him.
Well, Dan, the last time these guys lost, I was able to get into a Speedo. So I made a deal with Antioch that if they win, I'll show up in a Speedo at practice at their big banquet.
I'm rooting for De La Salle now, folks. I've changed allegiances right in the middle of this interview. Let's talk about the teams. The Antioch Panthers last week lost a heartbreaker to Pittsburgh and lost their chance to win a BVL championship. But tonight we're going to focus a little bit on their quarterback because he had a great game last week, Joey Loma.
Yeah, he really did, Dan. He threw for 295 yards and had a real nice touchdown pass to straighten on the wideout. He's really capable. He was hurt for a while. He's capable of putting something together, but they really got to have a big game out of him to have a chance, Dan.
Yeah, they have to play their game of their lives just to be in this game. On De La Salle side, of course, 135 wins in a row, 10 North Coast section championships, going for number 11, the number one team in the entire country here in the United States and probably in most of the countries around the world, Steve. And they have a good quarterback as well. Brett Cecil stepped in nicely for Magateras.
Yes, he really has, Dan, and he can do a little bit of everything. He can run, he can pass, he's got a lot of weapons around him. Mo Drew in the backfield. He's a great player and a contributor to this program, and he can do a lot of things. He can hurt you a lot of different ways.
It's the Antioch Panthers and the De La Salle Spartans 4A playoffs here on AT&T Broadband. We'll be back to bring it to you in 3 minutes here on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T.
At www.funnelhead.com. The De La Salle band here at Diablo Valley College as we get ready for tonight's 4A playoff game. And before we get ready, we're going to send it down on the field to our sideline reporter. It's Tony Schultz.
All right, guys, De La Salle 10-0 on the regular season, outscoring their opponents by a combined score of 39-7, complete domination. But in the last two seasons, a span of 6 games in the playoffs, guys, they're outscoring their opponents by a combined number of 50-9. So when the games get more important, the best team in the country, well, they get a little bit better. Let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Tony. And Steve, he's right. I mean, they have this tendency of playing up to the ability of the teams they meet in the playoffs. They've buried people for the last 10 years in these playoffs. They haven't lost a game since 1991. Of course, we're going to see you in a Speedo if Antioch wins tonight. Let's talk a little bit about the seasons these two teams have had. Antioch actually had a pretty good season for the Antioch Panthers. They were a little bit concerned coming in. They found Brent Castile, and they went on a nice run. They finished at 6-4, 4-2 overall in the BVAL, and a nice year for Ferris Anthony.
You know, Dan, Ferris really got him up this year again. Like, you know, that's what he does. That's his. That's the best part of him is motivating kids, and he got him up this year. Got a whole lot out of him. Finished second in BVL. Went down the last game. Had a chance at the championship. So very good season for Ferris Anthony and the Panthers.
We're going to send it down on the field for the coin flip, and hopefully all of our preparation will have worked tonight.
This is Mr. Pat. Helping us out this evening is Mr. Coley, Mr. Bassett, and Mr. Sawyer. Okay, gentlemen, you are the captains of your team. We expect you to work with your teammates to keep them under control. So if we have any problems, we'll try to get to you and have you take care of them before we have to take care of them. Okay? If you're the visitors, Antioch, number 21, you get to call the toss. There's a head and a tail. What's your call going to be? Calls a head. It is a head. Do you want your choice now or the second half? You want the ball. Okay. What goal do you want to defend? Keep that way, defend that goal. Okay, we'll step over here. Okay, Antioch is going to step over this way. Okay, Antioch is going to top and receive half the clock. Okay, guys, good luck.
Antioch will be receiving. De La Salle will be defending the North Goal. Welcome to North Coast
So Antioch wins the toss, and they will receive, and they'll have the ball first here. And of course, it would be a victory just to get a touchdown early in this game, Steve. De La Salle, and they're over the course of their season, 10-0 with 5 shutouts, and that's the second most shutouts that they've ever had under Bob Ladouceur.
And Dan, you know, the thing about it is, I talked to Coach Anthony, and he said the key to any time you play De La Salle is try to stay close early, because they are so good at jumping on people and just getting on them and getting a stranglehold on them early, Dan. And Ferris just says we got to stay close, you know. And I think every team goes into that with an attitude with that against De La Salle, Dan. But you're absolutely right, and you know. They do get better as the year goes on, De La Salle, and they rise to the occasion when they have to.
Well, they've played, you know, of course, De La Salle is no longer in the same league in football as Antioch. They were for years. As a matter of fact, Antioch has played 2 of the top close games. I don't know how, did I say that right, Steve?
Well, they played
2 of the closest games. How's that?
Right.
In this streak. There's Coach Ferris Anthony, his 7th year with the Panthers. They had that legendary game back in 90, I believe it was 91 or 92, when Toomer ran back the punt.
Right.
That set up a Doug Bryan field goal to win the game. That was one of the closest games in this entire run, 31-28. But De La Salle 10-0, and there's Tony Binswanger. He'll be the kicker. And as I told Ferris earlier this week, you might not have to prepare much for the kickoff return team this week, because this guy usually kicks the ball out of the end, but this one's short.
Yeah. And he hit the best kicker they've had since Doug O'Brien, Dan.
And that's Castile, who takes the ball back at the 5-yard line, breaks outside. He's got a lane, and Castile dancing on the sideline. He's finally knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line by the kicker, and then there's a late penalty flag. Antioch could really be in good position here, Steve. We'll have to check the penalty. Let's tell you about the offense quickly before the penalty call. Joey Loma starts at quarterback tonight. The junior T. Dixon, Charles Brown, and Brent Castile in the backfield. David Nolan and Aaron Straight in split time at wide receiver. Leon Lasarica is the tight end. And the penalty is on De La Salle.
Yes, Dan, and right there, Brent Castile shows you a little bit of his speed.
Let's quickly the line, Steve. There is a change. Ruben Luna at the center. Josh DeBenny at left guard. Paul Giovacchini at right guard. Jason Trent in for the injured Bill Wills at left tackle. And Dross Hudgens at right tackle. And it's not on De La Salle. It is, oh, wait a minute.
No, it's on De La Salle.
Okay, it's on De La Salle, but maybe they actually marked him out of bounds back at the 30.
Maybe
Steve.
that's what they did.
So he was marked out of bounds at the 30.
Here we go.
All right, dead ball, personal foul on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So that's the situation. A 25-yard return for Castile to open the game. He was marked out of bounds at the 30, and then a 15-yard penalty starts Antioch at their 45-yard line. We're just underway here tonight from Diablo Valley College. Dan and Steve and our great crew, and a handoff on first down to Dixon and a penalty flag. So we've had 2 plays and 2 penalties.
Let's just hope that these guys let these kids play, Dan. You know what I mean?
Let's take a look at
you hate to see flags flying. Go ahead, Daniel.
Let's take a look at the De La Salle defense quickly. Mike Pittori, Eric Sandy, Chris Mulvaney, and Cole Smith across the front. Parker Hanks, Terrence Kelly, and Maurice Drew at linebacker with DeMonte Fitzgerald in the backfield. Damon Jenkins, Willie Glasper, and Matt Kavanaugh. And the penalty is on Antioch for a legal shift, and that'll knock them back 5. It'll be 1st and 15, Steve.
Yeah, Dan, and those are the kind of little things you really can't do against De La Salle. You got to stay focused, you got to have discipline, and you got to really, you can't stub your toes early. They really need to put a drive here and move the chains a couple times here.
Inside handoff. This is Brown, who likes to run outside, and Brown is not even able to get back to the line of scrimmage. Tackled with the mark as a loss of 1. Good tackle that time by Parker Hanks, who plays tight end and linebacker for De La Salle, and he's actually the guy that calls the defensive signals for Terry Edson, the defensive coordinator under Bob Ladouceur, and he'll bring up a 2nd and 16, Steve.
Yes, and look for Antioch to put the ball in the air, Dan. You want to talk about team speed defensive-wise. You know, they talk about, you can't teach speed. Well, I tell you right now, De La Salle teaches quickness. They may not teach speed, but they teach you quickness off the ball, and they're going to be running around like, it's really wild. They are so fast, it's unbelievable.
And I think Antioch has to throw in tonight's game to really have a chance. Play action, Loma, flushed out of the pocket, and he is going to be tackled for another loss, and the ball's on the ground. And let's wait to see what this call is. I think they're going to mark it down at the 38-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd, and our first great location of the night, Steve. We'll let you think about it here for a second.
It's 3rd Martinez. It's very simple. But you know what? Chris Mulvaney from the backside right there, Dan, put the pressure on Loma and caught up with him and just raised havoc over there on the backside of him. Good pursuit. Let's watch number 45 right here, Dan. He's going to come from your right side. You can see him. He's swinging just a power rush on the right side. Watch him come from behind on number 14. He just doesn't give up. That's relentless pursuit by Mulvaney. Good job.
Third down Antioch, the first drive of the night. And they have a long way to go here for a first down. Loma to throw. Loma throwing, and he throws it into double coverage, and it's intercepted. His first pass of the night, intercepted by number 15, Willie Glasper, and Glasper is tackled at the 49-yard line. That's where De La Salle will take over with their first possession of the night. Here's a look at the De La Salle offense that we'll be seeing tonight. Britt Cecil starts at quarterback. Maurice Drew and Jackie Bates in the backfield. Cameron Colvin and DeMonte Fitzgerald are the wide receivers. Parker Hanks is the tight end. Cole Smith, Eric Sandy, Steve Fujimoto, John Chan, and Kyle Bela, the starting offensive line for the Spartans. 10-0, 135 in a row, 10 straight North Coast championships. And soon in this drive, Steve, we're going to show you all the polls that De La Salle's in,
yep.
and it'll shock you some of the rankings. But, Steve, I neglected to mention, they've been busy so far. Brian Chapman is our referee tonight. Steve Patton, the umpire. Head linesman Kevin Coley. Line judge Conrad Bassett. Back judge Rob Sawyer. Alternates Terry Miles, Kelly Hogarty, and Kevin Skipper.
Okay. You got rid of business right there, Dan. Good job.
15-yard return for Glasper on that interception.
And on that pass right there, Loma just kind of hung it up there, you know what I mean? He kind of just put it up out there and really didn't have good velocity on it. And Glasper was just playing center field. I bet he's from... Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. He gets pretty good protection up front right there. He steps up in the pocket, and it kind of floats on him. Look at this ball float, and Glasper's just playing center field. And I bet he's from Pittsburgh because we played basketball against his dad, I think.
Yes, sir. Very good player.
Very good player.
De La Salle starts with two backs and two wide receivers on first down. Handoff. This is Drew. This is Bates. And Bates has what is going to be close to a first down, tackled at the 38-yard line. Number 22 for Antioch was over there. And you know what? 22 is not on my roster, but I think it's Damon. Damon Anderson, they have him as number 6.
It is Damon Anderson.
Okay, so
it's Damon Anderson.
I'm going to have to talk to Ferris. He's supposed to give me a new roster. Daniel Zuniga, Zach Jaggers, Marcus Brown, T. Dixon across the line for Antioch, Mike Paulson for Richie Beltram at linebacker with Deontay Weisinger. Chris Coons, Zach Robinson, also a linebacker, Johnson Anderson and Castile in the backfield. Matt Head also playing a lot in the defensive backfield. But I saw number 6 come out as a captain, right. and now it turns out that Damon is wearing 22. Here's another big hole for Bates down the sideline, and Bates has another first down, knocked out of bounds at the 17-yard line. So just like that, Steve, 3 minutes and 2 seconds into the ball game, and De La Salle in scoring position after 2 running plays.
And Dan, right now they like that right side of Fujimoto and Bailau on the right side. Fujimoto and Bailau crack to the right side down with some help from Parker Hanks. And look at that, there's a nice block downfield. And right here, you just speed, Daniel, on the outside.
It just looks like they're collapsing the entire right side of that Antioch line, and there's been huge holes for Bates on both runs.
Mm-hmm.
Hand off to Drew, and there's another huge hole. And then Drew, of course, had pretty good power, but he does a nice tackle that time. Now, see, number 6 is out there, and this says on my roster that number 6 is Damon Anderson. And Damon Anderson is not listed as number 22. So one way or the other, I'm going to have to check out with someone. But
let's watch the replay. Number big 74, puller right there leading the way for De La Salle, Dan, on the left-hand side. Kyle Balo, and right there, he got hit pretty good by Anderson. Maybe that's like he's got a mini-me. Anderson.
I don't know. They brought up a bunch of JV guys, and there's no 22 on the roster.
Look at this.
Here's Drew, and there's a touchdown. So just like that, in 4 plays, De La Salle goes 48 yards after the interception, a 9-yard touchdown for Maurice Drew, and De La Salle's on the board, 6-0. And Steve, if this is how it's going to be, they're going to run for about 500 yards in the first half.
Well, Dan, they look a little rusty to me right now, De La Salle.
They only took 4 plays to score.
4 plays, yeah. And, what you can do is just tell what a fine oil machine these guys are. They're just disciplined, and they just perfectionists. That's all they do. And, boy, can this guy kick the ball.
Tony Binswanger on to attempt the extra point. Number 17 is Matt Cavanaugh, not the former 49er quarterback. To hold, the kick is up, and the kick is good. 8:19 to go first quarter, and De La Salle on their way here early with a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, and then what Antioch did, the one thing you don't want to do is play with a short field. They gave him a short field on the interception, and boom, you got to keep them pinned down. They're going to have a rough enough time trying to keep them on the whole field, Dan. You can't give De La Salle half a field and expect for them not to come away with something. There's Mo Drew running on the left side, and Eric Sandy, number 71, big 71, on the left-hand side, cleared that out big time, Daniel.
He could have ran down to Rasputin's and bought the new Nelly album.
Yes, he could have. Nelly, is that a band?
Yeah, they're like he's a rapper.
Oh, okay.
The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, the North Coast Section Championships are brought to you by great friends of the program, Rocco's Restaurant and Pizza in Walnut Creek. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh. James Bond this week. Jory's Flowers of Concord and Walnut Creek. And the Contra Costa Clean Water Program, Mr. Funnelhead. 7-0, De La Salle.
Hey, you know what kind of music Coach Laddiser likes?
Huh.
Stephen Curtis Chapman, Michael W. Smith.
Well, good. Why don't you
he
go
likes
over to
all
his
that
house?
good stuff.
I'll tell you what, then that means there's another guy you don't have to invite over to my house. How's that?
Well, that's fine because, he's a very spiritual man, and he likes that kind of stuff that moves you within your body, Grasshopper, not within your mind. Because when you have your body being moved by music, your heart, that's where it counts.
Can we get back to football?
Yeah.
I'm going to go home and listen to Black Sabbath just because you said that.
I know you would.
Straighten at the goal line. And this worked for Antioch the first time. It's Straighten a return out to the 17-yard line. Antioch will take over for their second possession of the night. Now, Ferris told me, and since we're on tape delay, I can actually tell you this, a 16-yard return. Okay. They have some new offensive wrinkles that they're going to present tonight. Okay. More of a spread offense, and he said we might see it in the second half.
Okay.
By the way, Steve, we have some additional friends of the program joining us this week. Magary, or is it McGarry?
McGarry.
McGarry Motors, quality RVs at discount prices. Humphrey's on the Delta, great seafood down in Antioch. Independent copier service, Antioch automatic transmission, and Antioch Dental Group building with Dr. H.G. Soto and Dr. P.L. Colston.
Yes, sir. And I really want to thank Cindy on Humphrey's on the Delta. And they also own
La Plaza.
La Plaza. They got a great Sunday brunch. Have you ever been there on the Sunday brunch?
I'm usually not up on Sunday
well,
for brunch.
That makes sense.
They'd have to have a Sunday late dinner to get me out of the house.
One of these days you got to go to their brunch.
First down, Loma to throw. And this is intercepted, and it's Glasper again. Glasper picks off the pass from Loma, and a nice return this time down inside the 25, tackled at the 22-yard line. The thing about them passing I don't think is going to work so far, Steve.
Well, Dan, the thing about it is, what's sad about it is that he had an open man. He just missed his guy. Straighten was open. Glasper in pick number 2. Good job by him. 2 turnovers. As you can see, he's got time to throw the ball, Dan. So he's, if my kid's got time, but you can see right here, he's got a guy open. He just underthrows him, and he gets picked out in the flat on the big down and out about 15, 20 yards. If he could have put a little bit more on, he could have been in business.
Glasper's on pace for 16 interceptions in tonight's game, by the way, Steve.
Yeah.
Cecil to throw, wide open, over the middle. And a fumble, and he fumbles it right into the hands, and a touchdown. You see, that kind of stuff only happens to these guys. I'm sorry.
When you're good, you're good, Dan. I mean, you know how long they practice that play in practice to make that work?
Fitzgerald to catch, a fumble, and then Colvin picks up the loose change, takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, De La Salle. 7:53 to go first quarter, and it's 13-0. And really, Steve, this is no great shock, but you always come into the game thinking maybe we'll be the team that can at least hold them down a little bit.
Well, you know what, as a coach, Dan, you're not going to come in any game, I don't care who you play, and say, you know what, we don't have a chance. You come in when you play these guys, they put their pants on one leg at a time, and you know what the great moral of this story is? Sometimes you just got to play the hand that's dealt to you, man, and you just got to go out there and do your best.
Here's Ben Swanger's kick. It's up and right down the middle. It's good, 14-0. Let's take another look at the touchdown, Steve. Fitzgerald came across the middle of the field. Cecil found him, and then he fumbled once he hit that AstroTurf here, and Colvin was there to pick it up. Here's the play action.
Play action. He rolls out to the right. This is going to buy him some time here, Dan. He looks real good right here. He just kind of throws it right here. He gets a real good hit by number 21. Well, he just strips him what he does. And look at this. You know how long they drew that up in the back room to make that play work? Wow. When you're good, you're good. Would you call that a full moon, Daniel?
14-0. That's a full moon, Steve.
Okay, thank you, because I don't know.
14-0. And now I want to tell you, De La Salle in the polls this week. Number 1 in the Contra Costa Times.
Okay, that's a given.
Number 1 in the San Francisco
Bay
Chronicle.
Area, that's a given.
Number 1 in Northern California.
Well, they own that.
Number 1 in California.
Now we're getting big.
Number 1 in USA Today.
That's a big country.
Number 8 Bowl Championship Series.
Wow.
BCS. They could play in the Fiesta Bowl. Number 22 in the NFL Power Rankings, ahead of the Bengals and Ravens.
Wow.
So De La Salle moving up right here on and we've got all the great stats for you on AT&T Broadband.
And do you know what De La Salle means?
It means 136 in a row.
But you know what the word means?
No.
I don't either.
Okay.
I just wondered if you did.
I don't know.
All right.
Straightening Castile back, and Antioch's going to have to think about going back to running the ball. And so Binswanger now, after he's warmed his leg up with 5 kicks in the first 4 minutes and 7 seconds of the game, kicks one in the end zone. Antioch will take over at their 20. Additional friends of the program: Fine Things, Aladino's Pizza, American Plumbing, Straight Line Builders, the New Mecca Cafe, Furtado Heating and Air, Lee Home Sales, Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Dragon's Lair at Rivertown, Delta Bay Waterproofing, Performance Chiropractic, and Communications Buildings of America. Antioch needs to go back to the running game here, Steve, to try to at least get some time off the clock.
Exactly, Dan. I mean, I was just going to allude to that. You really need to eat some time off the clock, get a couple first downs, try to get a little bit of confidence, and try to eat the clock up out of that high-powered offense. Move the chains a little bit, and just to kind of say, hey, we can do this.
Handoff on first down, straighten the line, and a couple there for, it was Dixon, the ball carrier, and many members of the De La Salle line made the tackle.
Yes, they did. They ran behind Ruben Luna and Joe Vacchini, and Ross Huggins. And, Ross Huggins has been the best lineman all year for these guys. They really talk high about him. That guy just brings a lot to the table. He really does. They really like him as a kid and as a coaching staff. They're really pleased with his play.
One of the captains tonight for the Antioch Panthers. But Steve, this is a tough assignment for any team,
yes.
and we're just happy we could show De La Salle, because that's the sad thing people say is you see a second down run that time by Castile, a short loss. People say, why are you doing it? And you know what? It's not fair to them not to at least show them a couple times.
Oh no, you got to put it on.
These guys are on Fox Sports. These guys are on ESPN. We've actually were happy when you were gone that one time. We weren't happy you were gone, but we were happy that ESPN picked up some of our highlights.
Right. Well, that's nice. Well, one thing you got to realize too, what people don't realize about this institution, there's a good shot of Coach Bob Ladisher, is what they don't realize is that that man right there is just concerned as much as character and integrity of his kids than he is winning, and people don't realize that with him. And they're a family. And once you leave here, they still stay in touch with you. They call you. They got an alumni that calls.
Unlike your alumni at Antioch.
Oh
right?
No, are you kidding? I call them and.
Actually, I hear the parolee calls the parole board to check you.
There's
a nice pass to Nolan, and Nolan has a first. Oh, they're going to mark him out of bounds just short of a first down at the 29-yard line. But you understand, too, another thing a lot of people always talk about when you see De La Salle. They get the breaks, and that last one, that just happened.
Right.
And then Antioch will throw a nice pass and come up 1 yard short of getting a first down.
Right.
It just never fails in these games.
It really doesn't, Dan. And, you don't win 135 straight by just getting the best players. Because I tell you what, could you imagine what Brett Castile would do with that line? Or what about Mr. Robinson from Pittsburgh, what he would do? He'd do the same thing Mo Drew is doing. They get the players, but you know what? It's just repetitious, and it's just unbelievable how good these guys really are.
Soares to punt, and he kicks it off the side of his foot and out of bounds. And, Soares, what I think another thing, too, Steve, is I think a lot of these kids come into a game like this with a little bit of a butterfly. This is definitely a team you read a lot about. They read a lot of them. They didn't play him this year, and everyone seems to be just a little bit kind of queasy right now on the Antioch sideline. Tell us what you think of the game of the week. Call 933-6264. And by the way, I understand sales were brisk for the Monte Vista San Ramon videotape.
Well, I can understand why, Dan, with it being one of the best high school games ever played. Let's go back to it, Dan. And there is a fumble. It was a fumble. They drop off the snap exchange.
And that's a moral victory in itself, Steve.
Yeah, well.
So it'll bring up second down. But what I was talking about earlier about, you read about these guys. Antioch last played them in the 2000 season, lost 64-0.
Right.
Obviously, Antioch hasn't beaten De La Salle probably since Ladisher's been here, because they have only lost 2 games since 1984.
Right.
And one was to Monte Vista and one was to Pittsburgh. Little option this time to Bates, and Bates has blocking out in front. Nice cut. Oh, another great move. And Bates has a first down at the 25-yard line. And, Steve, it just seems like no matter what they run, if it's an option, if it's a pitch, if it's a sweep, if it's a straight handoff, that there's always 10 yards before you even have to worry about another player.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And then they're going on the right side right here. Little option. Cecil does a real good job by sucking in the lineman right there. And right here, this is just speed. What nice cutback. And look at that. Nice little move right there.
Mike Paulson, who's in for the Richie Beltram, who's not eligible to play in tonight's game, made the tackle there. Drew, still on his feet, cutting and spinning. And a gain of about 6 down to the 19-yard line. Our phantom player, number 6, was in on that play.
Well, we'll find out who that
It
is.
was either
Dan.
DeMont Anderson or someone new.
You know, Maurice Drew's only carried the ball a couple times so far. They've had the ball 3 times, and we really haven't had a chance to see his speed. But you're really going to be impressed on this kid when he gets to the outside, Dan. He's got speed, quickness, and he's very explosive.
Second and 4 with 4:46 to go. First quarter. De La Salle leads 14-0 here on AT&T Broadband. There's that quick handoff to Bates. You know what was really impressive about that play? Is Cecil was out in front blocking for him, and he gave him the ball.
Yes, he did. Antioch's claiming they got the ball, but I think they're going to roll him down because
I'd like to see a replay of this because Ferris is out on the field, and that's a break that they probably wish they had. Ferris, you can see him right there. He's not happy.
No.
Let's take another look at this if we can see it.
Yeah. When Ferris gets like that, usually he's got a pretty good case. Let's watch 22. Let's see if the ball don't come out. I couldn't tell you.
He doesn't have the ball right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bad call. And that's one thing. They don't need breaks.
No.
Oh, they're telling me that Zach Robinson is wearing number 6. Okay, Zach Robinson wearing number 6. He changed his uniform number on us. And there's a pass to Fitzgerald. And Fitzgerald, another first down inside the 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the only thing that will frustrate fans and obviously players and coaches of the other team is that the one thing you don't need is any break. These guys don't need a fumble. And that was a fumble according to our replay.
And you're absolutely right, Dan. You know, but the guys down there in the striped church, they're doing the best job. Let's see if let's see if Matt can't pick this up on another angle. Let's watch this. Oh, yeah, that ball's out.
That's a fumble.
That ball's out.
That's a fumble.
Yeah.
That was a bad call.
Yeah.
And then, you know, not that Antioch would have done anything with it the way they're going, but it's just the idea. You know, they made a nice play finally, and they're not rewarded for it. Yeah. And Drew scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's 20-0 with 3:43 to go here in the first quarter. And, as we said earlier, it would take the game of their lives, Steve. It would really take the game of their lives to come back now.
And, you know, Dan, they did a real good job on that left side. John Chan and Eric Sandy and Cole Smith, the center on that left-hand side. You could have drove my UPS truck through that thing. Sideways, and still got that next day.
With a Christmas trailer attached to it.
And still got that next day there by 10:30.
20-0 De La Salle. Vince Wanger on to attempt the extra point. And that kick is up, and that time it didn't have the usual Ben Swanger twist to it.
No, kind of had a look.
It kind of had a Jose Cortez twist to it.
Yeah. But you know, Dan, it's like that. It's like that bad pizza, you know, and the good pizza. When the good pizza's good, it's really good. It was really bad, it's still pretty good, and that's still good.
Yeah, that was good. There's a shot of the moon, and
and I think that those are about as many lights as you've seen in Oakland after that Sammy Hagar concert you went to, and they wanted to ask some questions for you.
Here's the replay,
and right there, it's just, you know, he
could have ran down to Togo's.
Yeah.
Drew with 46 yards on 5 carries, 2 touchdowns. So De La Salle, and they haven't had to go very far.
No.
They've started on the 48, about the 38, and I think the last drive started about the 35. So they barely have 100 yards, but they have 3 touchdowns.
And then they've been playing with a half of a field, and they just caught a little break right there. Actually, they've had 2 breaks, 2 fumbles on the ground, and then the bounces went their way and a missed call. So I think Antioch needs to keep their head up, and I think they need to throw the ball still. I think Loma needs to get some confidence, and he came up a little bit short on the last play. Let's see what happens.
Ben Swanger, a line drive, and it goes right through the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Antioch will start at the 20 here with 3:43 to go first quarter. 21-0. De La Salle, the winner of this game. And right now it looks pretty much like it's going to be De La Salle, Steve, unless a miracle happens. We'll play the winner of the Hayward-Berkeley game here next Friday night. There's always a possibility we'll televise that game. But we're going to try to move around and show you maybe a Monte Vista game, maybe a Miramani game. And hope to be here on 2 weeks from tonight when, if everything works out the way it should, Miramani Las Lomas. But that's not discounting Campolindo and Acalanes maybe pulling an upset there. But
Campolindo did it last year, and, you know, anything's possible.
But Las Lomas really looks like they're hot going into the playoffs.
Yes, you know, they had big expectations this year, and everybody thought they were going to just walk through the league, and they kind of hit a wall to start out with, but they're starting to play some ball. Coach Longero's got them coming around.
Trying to pick up that number for you.
Number 45,
It was
Dan.
number 21, Lontavius Johnson, with his first carry of the night, and he gets a 1-yard gain.
And Chris Mulvaney on defense on the tackle, number 45. He's been active real early. And me and Dan and Matt Bolender and everybody AT&T would like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving coming up, huh, Dan, with
That's
your families.
right. That's right.
Enjoy yourself and enjoy. Thank you for the tape sales. Everybody called to try to get for that Monte Vista San Ramon game, and Matt was he was pretty busy this week. Actually, I think he had to work, Daniel. I don't know. He might have had to work.
That is the first week ever that he actually had to work. 2nd and 9. Handoff to Castile around the right side, and Castile's knocked out of bounds. A great play over there to knock him out of bounds by Parker Hanks. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6 here, Steve, with the 2:56 to go first quarter.
And Parker Hanks, we've called his name a couple times. He's pretty active on offense and defense on the ends there.
I think I asked once. I don't think he's any relation to Tom, but it's really weird because Tom Hanks is from this area.
Yes,
so
he
you
is.
never know. Could be a distant cousin or something along those lines.
Well, I would claim him. I mean, sure, I know Tom. Passing down for Antioch, Dan, and we're looking at about, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7?
3rd and 7.
I can look at the board right here to my right, and I can answer my own question. I won't have to ask you that no more.
Loma to throw sideline. Oh, Nolan almost made a great
Yes,
catch.
he did.
He had to go up high for that, but it was incomplete. Glasper, who so far is the player of the game.
On defensive wise. And Nolan made a nice tip, and he was going to make that play. And Glasper said, nope. Watch this replay right here. Here's a tip drill, Dan. And right here, Loma, 4-step drop. Watch this. He goes up, and now he's going to catch this ball. Watch Glasper respond. Real good deep play defensive wise.
Antioch needs a good punt this time. And that's another scary thing is when you actually kick the ball to him, you've got Drew and number 25, Damon Jenkins, back deep for De La Salle. And there's been a lot of teams who at one point thought they might have had De La Salle, and then they kicked the ball to him, and then before you know it, there's another touchdown on the board. Here's Drew, breaks a tackle, up the middle, still on his feet, and then a nice tackle finally puts him down. That was Paulson and also Matt Head in there to make the tackle. But once again, De La Salle is on the Antioch side of the field to start a drive with 2:35 to go in the first quarter.
But I will say this, that was very good special team coverage on Antioch, Dan. Usually you see De La Salle when they return a punt, and you get a kid who gets about a 10-yard gap. Usually he's gone, Dan. You want to do some business, Daniel?
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. It's a great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264. Ask for Metal Matt. And this week will be the last Scorpions. CC Rock will get that graphic up for you after this play. Cecil to throw.
Oh, boy, he's got
a receiver.
wide open.
Colvin.
Wide open.
Touchdown. Oh, he dropped it.
Yes, he did.
Oh, my goodness. Colvin was wide open in the end zone.
And Anderson is grabbing his head, said, how could he get that far behind me? And the De La Salle sidelines are going, boy, just like we drew it up. He can't believe it.
Colvin is just a junior, and he's one of the great wide receivers in this area.
Yes,
but you know
he
what?
is.
Even the best sometimes
That's right.
drop a pass or fumble the ball. So the North Coast Section 3A and 4A championships will be held at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum on December 7th at 4 and 7:15. So, Steve, we're going to go out on a limb. You predicted last week San Ramon and Monte Vista will meet, right?
Right.
And De La Salle, are you going to predict them and San Leandro?
Hayward.
San Leandro and Hayward, that can't happen because they'll play them next week. So.
I mean, San Leandro.
Oh,
Look at this.
Drew, draw play, great cut, great speed. Drew, touchdown, De La Salle. Maurice Drew, 45 yards. He's over 100 yards in the first quarter and 3 touchdowns. Gee, I wonder who our player of the game will be because he can't be it. He was it the last time we did him.
Well, Dan, you know what? These guys it is totally unbelievable, the game they're putting together right here. It's just, these guys are so well coached and they execute so well. It's, and all of our friends are on that side. We're Antioch guys. They know that. But you know what? You really got to admire these guys watching them. You do. I mean, you got to take your hats off to them and go, wow, this is something you don't see very often, folks. Sit back and enjoy this. This is a great program they have here in Concord.
Ben Swanger's kick is good. 2:18 to go. And you know what's scary about that? That's still enough time for them to score another touchdown.
Oh, I know.
28-0. De La Salle in the first quarter, 2:18 to go. And we might see some of the junior varsity players in the second half, Steve.
Let's watch the replay right here. Boy, they just let it. Look at this cut. This
There's a green
there's a nice
guy
block
on every guy.
Everybody, there's a green helmet right here. Well, you can't teach that. I take that back. Because when you got speed like that, you got speed. And he's an Antioch guy, you know.
Maurice Drew's from Antioch?
He's from Antioch. And there's Coach Lattiser. He's going, man, I just don't know how much more I can take of this. It's a rough day. I wish my offense would start rolling like I'd like it to.
Yeah, he looks real worried.
You know, he's like, darn.
23 years, Steve. He's only lost 13 games since he's been here. I mean, but I think the amazing thing is they've only lost twice in the past 18 years.
The thing about Coach Ladouceur was a lot of people don't know, and I can't sit here and give you all the details of it, but there's a lot more about Coach Ladouceur than winning football games, I can tell you that.
Oh, I agree with you.
He's a great man.
I think if he was the kind of guy that ran up the score, that there would be much more hatred. And what was that? That looked like a bomb scare in the end zone.
You take it, I'll take it. No, you take it. I ain't going to forget it. We both won't take it.
I think if it wasn't for a guy like Coach Ladouceur, Antioch,
go ahead, Daniel.
151-13 total offense in the first quarter.
Okay.
If it wasn't for the way he is and his program and the
demeanor and the way he handles himself,
I think that there would be a lot more hatred towards the program, because I think a lot of people respect the way he is and the fact that it just all not wins. And for a long time he was a religion teacher. It had nothing to do with football.
But he's very, very concerned. There's some stats that
well, those are different than Grandpa Dave Jackson. So we're going to send Robert back into ad.
Yeah.
We had 151. Well, see, that doesn't even add up. This is actually 168-6.
It's just a whole lot.
I don't think any of you guys are. I think anyone from Antioch right now hasn't done a damn thing right since this game started.
These guys from Antioch,
including our stat crew and the announcers. Castillo passing the flat. Oh, that should have been a penalty right there. That should have been a penalty, because he kind of led with his helmet and led with his shoulder, and I'm just saying that guy could have got hurt right there.
Well, Matt Cavanaugh was just being here. Let's watch number 17 right here, Dan. He comes in late, but right here's a little out to.
I mean, if you're going to call this stuff and fine guys half their paycheck in the NFL, right here when I'm just saying he hit him right in the head.
Terrence Kelly, he was there first, and then Cavanaugh came in late to clean the mess up, but they're just playing aggressive.
And some guys would say, hey, it's just, hard-hitting football. But I'm just saying, at a high school level, that kind of play could hurt someone.
Well, it really could.
Now Antioch shows you this spread offense that they've been talking about with 4 wide receivers and only Dixon in the backfield. Loma rolls, finds a little hole in the pocket, breaks outside of another De La Salle pursuer, and he breaks upfield for a first down, and that's a moral victory because that's the first down of the game for Antioch.
Yeah, it really is.
And Antioch just has to keep moving the chains and at least get some time off the clock, Steve.
And I think, Dan, Ruben Luna, or Josh DeBeatty, let's see if we get a replay right here, because it's maybe the only highlight for Antioch we get. I hope it isn't. Let's watch it right here. Let's see on your left-hand side of the screen, Dan, if you can't watch this block up here. Coming up on your left-hand side, let's watch it right up here, Dan. Keep an eye on number 10. Here he comes. There's a pretty good block by number Brown, 36, opening up the hole.
Well, Steve, you don't think, because you look out there, these kids the same age as those kids, you don't think they can be that much stronger and that much faster, but they always are. Watch the rush sometimes.
Oh, I know. It's
you got guys half the size of Antioch linemen pushing them back 10 yards like it's some drill they do out in summer. First down, and then Loma just launches one towards the De La Salle sideline, incomplete. 41 seconds to go. There's the De La Salle cheerleaders here tonight.
And, Dan, they are coached by Susan Smith and Sandy Minchner. And they are going to Tracy to qualify for the Nationals December 14th.
They have to go to Tracy?
It's Michener. I'm sorry. Yeah, they got to go to Tracy. Yeah, they got to go to Tracy. And they got a good In-N-Out burger there, so that's about the only thing in Tracy they got.
You know, the only thing I ever know about Tracy is it means I'm halfway to Modesto, which means I'm halfway to Fresno, which means I'm halfway to Los Angeles.
What about that Tracy your junior year you dated?
No, actually, I could tell you a story about Tracy, but it'll be over pie tonight. And it's not Tracy the girl, it's Tracy the town.
And folks,
we can't talk about it here on a family network.
He's going to go like this. Well, it's with Tracy. Bleep, 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 bleep. And then it was unbelievable.
I'll just have to tell you, it has to do with an old car and a lot of mud.
Well, I think we're going to get Antioch moving. Castile in the slot there. They're probably going to push him back 5 yards.
It'll bring up 2nd and 15 there's still 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. Steve, while we got the opportunity, let's tell you a little bit about the Antioch coaching staff. Ferris Anthony in his 7th year, and there he is, our good buddy.
Encroachment by the defense, 5-yard penalty.
It's actually a deal of South.
Still second down.
Anthony Borelli calling the offense over there. Of course, Ferris the defense. Troy Amati, Sean Taylor, Lee Petrozetti, Roger, and Chris Henry. Fern Martin is the JV coach. He's up in the booth this week.
And Frank Mercado, that's their. He does a good job over there. And John Luciano, you know John, don't you know John? John's a great guy.
Jeff Rich is the principal at Antioch High School. Bob Fisher, the athletic director for the Panthers. 6-4 this year in the BVAL, and the ball's on the ground, and De La Salle has it.
Yeah, see, now that's what just drives you crazy. Why? I don't know. I have no answer for that, Dan. You're starting to move, and it's just like they're steak bitten or something. I don't know. There's 3 turnovers for the Panthers.
They're steak bitten?
I don't know why. I can't even say it. It's so messed up.
Yeah, this is what frustrates you.
Yeah.
It's one thing to try to throw the ball downfield, throw an interception, or get hit, but when you just fumble the snap, it just you talk about the balloon deflating even more. It's already 28-0. I mean, there's 31 seconds left. That's enough time for them to score another touchdown.
And that was Parker Hanks on the recovery, and we've said he's been very active.
Parker Hanks and Glasper have had great games on defense, and Drew has had a great game on offense, and Banks is even, Bates has done very well when he's
There's
had a
some
chance.
pressure. Cecil.
Matt Head was the closest player to that ball, and it's incomplete. And you know what? If that, you'd have to just say by watching their pass game, even though they did have a real nice play that one time, if that's the one thing you could get them to do, force them to throw the ball a little, get some pressure on him, you might have a chance to slow this juggernaut down.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a juggernaut.
It is a juggernaut.
You can't put it no better than that.
Antioch was 6-4 this year, Steve. Their losses, though, were to very good teams. They lost to Monte Vista, they lost to Foothill, and they lost to Pittsburgh. Their only really kind of iffy loss was that one to Liberty where they put the ball on the ground 5 times, once in the end zone and lost 27-26, but still qualified for the playoffs. As a matter of fact, Freedom and Ignacio Valley are playing this weekend, and Pittsburgh. So 4 teams out of the BVO made the playoffs. Option pitch. This is Bates, and Bates shows his great speed around the corner, breaks, and he would have been gone if it wasn't for Matt Head, who made the tackle at the 27-yard line. 15 seconds to go in the first quarter. This should be the last play of the first quarter.
It should be. And you know, Dan, the thing about it is even when you contain them and you hold them down, they still get 8 or 9 yards.
Well, that's a scary. There's no such thing as a bad play for De La Salle unless they fumble or throw an incomplete pass, because they hardly ever tackled behind the line of scrimmage. 5 seconds to go, and we're counting down, and De La Salle should just let us go to commercial. It's 28-0.
I think they're gonna.
And they are.
Yeah.
28-0, De La Salle at the end of the first quarter. We'll be back with the second quarter after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. Catch the back-to-school movie special at their Pittsburgh location with rolled-back admission prices and a free concession coupon each week on the Brendan Pittsburgh website page. And RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. RSC offers a wide variety of equipment specific to the petrochemical industry, as well as the general contractor and homeowner. We deliver straight to the site and have a fully trained staff of mechanics and office personnel to fit every need. That's Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay. And most importantly, to your precious surf beaches. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter, and recycle it.
The North Coast Section 3A and 4A East Bay football championships will be played at the Oakland-Alameda County Network Associates Coliseum Saturday, December 7th at 4 and 7:15 p.m. Come and see some of the top high school football players and teams in the country. NCS Football Championships, football at its best.
Second quarter at Diablo Valley College tonight on AT&T Broadband's high school game of the week. Dan and Steve and our great crew, and it's 28-0 De La Salle, Steve, and it's really no great shock.
No, it's not, and we're just going to have to do our best here and watch it and enjoy the entertainment.
Oh, that was a great now that is a highlight play right there.
This
and there's
is.
A penalty flag came in from somewhere near the Benicia Bridge. We're going to send it down to Tony. We'll tell you about the play after this.
Hey guys, De La Salle place kicker Tony Binswanger it's not unusual for him to hit a kickoff from 70 yards, and he's hit a 47-yard field goal already this year. He has not been claimed by any college, so if there's a college coach out there who needs better place kicking, look no further than Concord. The senior from De La Salle is available. Guys?
If I'd sign him right now for the 49ers.
Oh, yeah. And you know, Dan, a lot of people don't know this, but Tony Schultz is related to Charles Schultz of Petus fame and Charlie Brown fame. Did you know that from up in Napa?
I did not know that.
Yes, he's
So by the defense, 5-yard penalty. It's still first down.
Now when you're
play,
go ahead, Daniel.
A great
Go ahead,
play
Dan.
and a loss, and now Ferris is going crazy. Oh,
That's bull. That's bull. I can say that. That's what he said. That's bull. I can't say what he said at the last
Here's
one.
a great play. Great rush by number 82, Brandon Franks. And then the sack by 2 Panthers. That was Marcus Brown. And I want to get that other
66.
number. And it looks like, yeah, well, that looked like Franks who came back. Then they call a face mask. It's still a first down, but it's 1st and 16. Cecil rolling. And Cecil's good. Oh, he makes a great move.
Great move, yep.
Oh, and then he gets hammered. He got hammered by number 6, Zach Robinson.
Zach Robinson hammered him.
And that'll only be a gain of about 5, Steve. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. Go ahead.
Can I make a point, Daniel?
What?
It's just very simple. When you're losing 28-0 to De La Salle, you should be able to get the face mask and not get called for it.
Well, I'm just saying too. That mask
I know,
they
that's
came
not
in from
true.
about 20
I
yards
know,
away, and
I
you know, it's just it's the typical thing that you see here. There's Cecil's stats. Drew had a 9-yard run, Colvin a 4-yard run with their fumble recovery. Drew a 24-yard run and Drew a 45-yard run.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And right here comes some pressure. He gets to the outside. Makes a real good decision right here. There's a good crackback block by Drew right there. And a nice cut right there. And just keeps it going and comes back. And he pays a little bit of a price, but a good positive play for De La Salle's part. I like Cecil. I like the way he guides his team.
And then there's another penalty. What's that penalty on?
It's probably going to be unsportsmanlike.
It's probably going to be on the Antioch sideline.
It could be. Could be on Ferris.
Look, yeah, Ferris is over there. You can see him in the picture. He's asking, what is this all about?
Yeah.
And, you know, this is what...
And there's Frank Mercado talking to him, saying, it's but Frank, I know what Frank said right there. You know what he said? Ferris, just, I don't want you to have a heart attack.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have one thing to say after this.
Okay.
After this play, Cecil a keeper, and he stretches ahead for about 4 or 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing, and you know we're going to talk frankly about both sides on this ball.
Oh,
You know,
sure,
how
sure
tough
we are.
it is to play these guys, but they don't need any breaks.
No, they
Mike
don't.
Paulson, and now they've had a fumble that bounced into a guy's arms. They've had a fumble that wasn't called.
Right.
You get a face mask, you get another penalty. They don't need any breaks.
Yeah.
They're already ahead 28-0. That's why it's so frustrating when you play them. Not only do you get behind and then you lose your temper, you lose your composure, and before you know it, the whole thing's just kind of
Right.
going down the track without any breaks on it. Here's Cecil again, and Cecil is banged ahead for a touchdown. He was tackled from behind, and the tackle took him into the end zone.
Yes, it did.
Steve, how long do you leave your first string in? First half?
Well, you know what? Coach Ladouceur, he really doesn't look at the score. He looks at execution and things he wants to accomplish with his offense to get him ready for a championship game. He will not pull these guys in the first half. No, these guys are going to play most of the game. I guarantee you. But he's got things that he wants to work on in this game to see what they will do in the next game, okay? So, and this is all a part of his big scheme. And he doesn't do it to run up anything. He just does it because that's the style he always does.
Ben Swanger's kick is good. 10:30 to go in the second quarter. 35-0. De La Salle. They only won last week 35-0, and that was the final score of the game last week. Let's take another look at the touchdown. You'll see Cecil. For some reason, they seem to feature one guy on each drive. This time it was Cecil who got most of the yards.
And watch number 4, Matt Head. He comes in from behind. No, I'm sorry. It was Matt Head. No, number 6. And then he gets hit by number 82, Dan. We called his name a little bit ago.
And one of the guys in our truck said, watch this.
Brandon Franks.
It's Brandon Franks. It looked like he was tackled at about the 1 yard line.
Yeah.
Not that it would have mattered, but
No.
it's just the idea nothing is going right for the Antioch Panthers tonight.
And there's Coach Ladouceur in the huddle. He's telling these guys, you guys, so far you're doing okay.
Nothing's went right for Antioch since the start of the third quarter last week against Pittsburgh.
Well, they haven't scored.
No.
In how many, 3 quarters?
Right now, they had
Well,
a
they scored on the fourth
21-14 lead at halftime against Pittsburgh.
Right.
Didn't score in the rest of that game. Lost 31-21. Didn't score in the second half against Ignacio Valley in the Mud Bowl that we had 2 weeks ago. We've had the Antioch Panthers on 3 straight weeks.
And Dan, I do like this idea. Maybe he can go for the Niners this weekend.
Ben Swanger will kick. Now, Dave Jackson just said something to me. Drew with 105 yards on 17 carries. 7 carries, actually. Excuse
7,
me.
yeah.
Dave said something to me, and I was wondering exactly what it was that he just said.
He said, what kind of pie are you going to order tonight after the game? That's what he said.
It's always cherry. We know that.
Yeah, I know that. I think I'm going to try that tonight with you.
Ben Swanger the kick, and I think Straighton's going to be able to return this one.
Yes,
he
he
takes
is.
it at the 5 yard line. Breaks outside, but Straighton only back to about the 14, a 9 yard return.
Just good pursuit on special teams, too, Daniel. Number 24 was in on that tackle.
The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, the North Coast Section Championships, are brought to you by great friends of the program, and they include A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch, Mazet Pontiac of Antioch, and soon to be relocating to Pittsburgh, and RSC Rental Service Corporation, rental sales and service in Martinez. Great, all of our sponsors. It's been great having you this year here on AT&T Broadband.
Yes, Jeff Garcia was at Circuit City last night, and DeMonte Fitzgerald was on that special teams tackle tonight.
35-0, the Big Green Machine with 10:22 to go in the first half. And tonight you're seeing why we dubbed them the Big Green Machine. Hand off to Dixon.
Not a bad first down play. They picked up about 4.
Dixon got 4, according to Mr. Sanchez.
Well, let's see what it is. Second and
5.
They
So they
picked up
gave him
5.
5. There you
Okay.
go. So you were close.
Oh, it's close.
And Robert DeCambra is driving me crazy back here. He's got a note for everything. It's like he's sending notes to the teachers.
Okay, I'm in my UPS truck. I'm heading westbound on Highway 4. My UPS truck coming in. I look back, and here's the camera looking at me in a truck. I about wrecked.
2nd and 5 for Antioch. Brown in motion. Handoff Dixon. And Dixon straight ahead. A gain of about 4. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1, Steve, with 9:35 to go. And this is what I think Antioch's got to do. They've just got to try to run some time off the clock.
And Jason Trent on that left side, and Leon Las Rica and Josh DeBitty, they're opening up a few holes on that left side for Antioch. Maybe they found something over they like. They got about a 3rd and 1. They really need to pick this up, Dan. And, I mean, that's an understatement, but they need to move the chains right here.
It would only be the 2nd first down of the first half for the Panthers. That's Castile in motion. Handoff to Dixon.
And they're going to get it.
They're
going to move it.
Okay. With that gain of about 2, Antioch should get a first down and keep the clock running. Steve, while we have an opportunity, let's talk about that De La Salle coaching staff. Bob Laudiseur, of course, in his 23rd year. Terry Edson, the athletic director and defensive coordinator, does a great job
over there.
Mark Piniella. It's Terrell Ward. Joey Aliotti, the great former Pittsburgh Pirate. Nate Gelderman, who played.
He was a great
and
player.
Justin Allenbaugh, who played at De La Salle. And, of course, Al Bonanno, formerly the athletic director and JV coach at Pittsburgh, is the JV coach here. And, of course, brother Chris Brady.
And the Bolano, he's from the Bolano family.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, no wonder.
This is Castile. Castile's been bottled up. That's his first good gain of the night.
Nice run by Castile on the outside. And tripped up by number 22 on the outside, Dan, Jackie Bates.
There's Brent Castile. You're going to hear a lot about Brent Castile in the next
Let's watch this replay right here, Dan. And here he is. He starts to go inside, changes his mind. He gets sucked in. His man almost gets blocked into him. But right here, he's a good player right here. And if he could have kept his balance, he could have been in business. You could have seen some speed on the other side of Antioch.
It's, as you talk about moral victories,
yes, sir.
A drive with 2 first downs right now is the best thing that Antioch has done. And this is a good sign for them. First down at the 37, 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. Antioch trails 35-0 here on AT&T Broadband. A fake and a handoff inside to Brown. Brown shoots out of there like he's a rocket. He's at the 40, Brown's at the 30, and Brown with the biggest play of the game so far for the Antioch Panthers, tackled at the 25-yard line, a 38-yard gain for Charles Brown.
And Dan, I think they found a little something on that left side. Jason Trent, who's doing a good job, and Leon Las Rica and Josh DeBeatty on the left side. Let's watch this right here. There's number 64. He's crushing somebody, Ross Huggins, and he does a cross block. And right here he is off to the races right here. Good speed, but there's also good speed on defense coming at him.
He was tackled by the De La Salle 440 relay team right there.
That's about it.
Kavanaugh and Jenkins and Glasper and Bates down there. And now they go back to Castile, but his speed gets him outside. Nice cut by Castile, and ahead of the 12-yard line.
Yes.
And this is the most positive thing that has happened for the Antioch Panthers so far. This is a nice drive for Antioch, Steve.
And it really is, Dan. And, you know, as Antioch guys, and you'd really love to see these kids just get in to make it a game for a moral victory for them, because they are all kids out there. And let's watch this right here. Right here, he just says, well, I'll go airborne. Real nice move. Almost keeps his feet, but real nice run by Castile. Antioch's offensive line is starting to get pretty active. And they're starting to win the battle up front. Huggins has been doing a great job all year.
That was a 13-yard gain on first down, and now another first down for Antioch. They're moving the ball, handoff to Brown. Brown tries to go outside, gets around Kavanaugh, and gets about 2, knocked out of bounds. Hanks was over there, as well as number 22, Jackie Bates, and number 25, Damon Jenkins, so it'll bring up a 2nd down. But Antioch, this is what you at least want to see him.
Right.
Just some positive stuff out there.
And you know, Dan, even though Kavanaugh didn't make that play, he did a real good job on turning it in, and he made the pursuit of the defense catch up with him. So he did a good job of stringing that out. Kavanaugh didn't make the tackle, but he was a big part of that play.
There's Brown. Brown had a big game against Ignacio Valley.
Yes, he did.
Last week.
Week before
Excuse me,
last.
2 weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
And that 7-0 victory in the Mud Bowl. Hand off Dixon. Dixon straight ahead. Dixon powers.
That's a touchdown.
Well, it's Antioch running the ball. They need to go all the way into the end zone, Steve. No cards and letters from the De La Salle.
And look at Ferris. Ferris is he's going, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
What do I got to do?
Yeah.
You know, and he's a competitor.
Well, I want to get a shot of this once after this. Show where the ball is. Now look at Dixon. Nice, breaks the tackle.
Play.
Go ahead, Steve.
Right here. He boom, boom, boom. Mike Ascott.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He might have been, he might not. But look where the placement of the ball is. Can we get a shot from the sideline? Watch this if we get a shot from our sideline guy who's down there.
And can I
it's
ask
like
you a
on
question?
the 1/8 inch line.
When do you do? Oh, hell, let's just give it to him.
Well,
when does that happen?
I don't know. That never happens. First down, Antioch driving. This would be a great thing for the Panthers. Dixon doesn't get in. He actually lost about 3 inches on the play.
Yeah, he did.
No, Steve, I know that is the thing that constantly, and that's the thing that bothers people who are casual fans.
Right.
The people like my father who will say, oh, you know what, they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Because even if they had a chance, they'd never have a chance.
Cameron Coven, he was a big part of that play right there. He smelt that out and shot the gap right there. Did a real good job, number 26 on defense.
People like the guy you see in the street or in the grocery market, that's exactly why they don't think that Antioch has a whole prayer in this game.
I drive a UPS truck around. You don't want to hear about the guys I see in the street. Believe me.
Timeout on the field, Antioch. Additional friends of the program, Pacific Pride Distribution, Joe's Food and Gas, Skips Copier, Pace Auto Sales, Narrow Road Design, Antioch Opticians, Rock Bottom Records, Images of 3 Hair Salon. Antioch Chiropractic and Dr. Bill Riston, Golf and Games, S&S Imports, Trident Environmental Engineering, Antioch Armory, Pantel's Music Box, and Bestwick Insurance. Quickly, just for you, Steve, additional friends, McGarry Motors, Humphreys on the Delta, Independent Copier Service, Antioch Automatic Transmission, Antioch Delta Group. Steve, just for you, at Rock Bottom Records this week, Paul McCartney has a live album coming out for you, okay? Because I know that you know a little bit about
I know that guy.
Music made in the 60s.
That's right. Hey, Dan, I was talking to Eric Love. He was at Dr. Bill Riston's, right? And he was telling me he's for De La Salle. He's not playing. And he got an automobile accident, and he looked at me and goes, well, I probably wouldn't have played a lot anyway, but you know what? He goes, I'm just proud to be a part of that team. He goes,
wow.
and he goes, and just for me to suit up and be a part of that team means a lot to me. And he goes, can I tell you something about Coach Laddiser? I go, what? He goes, I love that guy, man. He goes, that guy's the best guy you'll ever come around, Dan. And that's to hear from a guy back up saying that's pretty awesome.
Would your business like to join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week? A great opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business while supporting local high school sports. Call 933-6264. Castile, 38 yards rushing, and Brown with 53 yards
rushing.
And
he told me he was in an automobile accident, and I told him, you know what? You're in the right place, Bill Riston.
Loma with a keeper, and he didn't get in. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down. And see, this is where De La Salle really, they're just practicing right now.
You're sure they are.
They're practicing their goal line defense for the next game.
That's right.
Or the game after that.
And that's what Coach Laddiser does. He doesn't give an inch to nobody. He's a competitor. Let's watch this. And right there, look at that offensive line. I mean, they crushed down on it. I don't know. They're just amazing.
Antioch calls another timeout with 5:42 to go.
They really want this touchdown.
They've ran 4 or 5 minutes off the clock here, which is good. It's still 35-0
Right.
De La Salle in the first half. Antioch would like to get in. There's Terry Edson with his defense out on the field. Steve, we've talked about both the coaching staffs and the seasons they've had. Of course, the big game for De La Salle this year was against Long Beach Poly over at Memorial Stadium in Berkeley. 28-7, they won that game, nationally televised on Fox Sports. And another big game for the Spartans will be the North Coast Section 4A Championship, which will follow the 3A Championship on December 7th at the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. And you never know, we might be there.
We're going to try to be there. We're going to do everything in our power to be there.
In our power.
In our power. That's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
But Dan, may I just say, I was took a sabbatical. How do you say that word, sabbatical?
A sabbatical.
A sabbatical during the year.
Yes.
I missed you. I'm glad to be back. But the camera, can we do something with this guy?
He needs to take a sabbatical.
My gosh. Here we go, Dan. Make the call, buddy.
Third down. Loma, handoff. It looked like Castile, and he didn't get in. Antioch just is, I hate to say this, Steve. It failed on first down. It failed on second down. How about maybe a sweep on third down to see if maybe we can get in that way? Because they're not doing nothing going straight into the line.
Let's watch the replay right here. Now, how is that not a touchdown?
Well, he didn't get in.
Oh, that's exactly how it was. That's right. He didn't get in.
He wasn't there. I think on
wish
third
I
down
could
you
see
got
the
to
bottom.
run.
I wanted to give credit to the bottom of that player on D, Sandy and Mulvaney. Boy, they were on they just.
Fourth down, Antioch. This time a pitch. This is Castile. Touchdown. What did I tell you? Should I be the coach?
No.
Did I call that play?
Yes.
Spread the field, give Castile some room to run, get away from that big active defensive line for De La Salle, and Antioch is on the scoreboard with 5:21 to go. And I'll tell you, Steve, I hate to start bringing this stuff up. If they hadn't got that fumble, if they hadn't got that other fumble, it'd only be 21-7,
Well, Dan,
that's why you start looking at it and going, that's why those plays need to be called.
If the sun would have came up in the west, we wouldn't have had to worry about nothing either. So look at it that way.
Came up in the west.
Yeah, because if that sun ever comes up in the west and you wake up.
Here's a play for you. Sorry's the snap, and then the ball is taken away by Damon Jenkins, and that point is not good. 35-6, De La Salle, 5:21 to go. Here's a replay of the.
We're going to have a replay
touchdown.
of the touchdown. Here we go. Here's Castile to the outside. I thought right there he was getting tripped up with his athletic ability. Got him to the outside. And, folks, he does have some speed. And right there he makes it to the pylon.
Well, next year it's going to be a whole different story for Brent Castile and the Antioch Panthers. He'll be a senior. He'll be a second year there. Antioch with a lot of juniors coming back and a lot playing tonight with the injuries. With Richie Beltram out, Mike Paulson gets some time at middle linebacker. He's a junior.
Right.
You get Loma back, Brown, Dixon, Castile, Straighten.
Sure.
All those guys are coming back, including there's a couple of other really good players coming back.
James Burke could be coming back, number 19.
Also, Luna will be back for Antioch. Zuniga will be back. Weisinger will be back. Coons, DeMont Anderson. So Antioch should be a power next year.
Yes, they should. And I'll tell you a team will be another power. It's Pittsburgh. They're going to have some good young talent coming back.
But, it just doesn't seem to matter. If you remember the movie Meatballs, it just doesn't matter because they probably still won't be able to beat the Big Green Machine. But we'll just have to line them up and see what happens.
Well, that's it. You know what, Dan? It's just life is like a box of chocolate.
I think we just ripped off every 70s and 80s movies in that last.
Well, folks, the second half is coming up, and we're going to try to make it entertaining for you. And we hope you can sit back and just appreciate this number one ranked team in the nation and to say, hey, my gosh, I mean, they're right here in our backyard, folks, and these kids are all from everywhere. And I don't want to hear about recruiting because you know what? People go to him. People come to him with kids.
That stuff's over. That stuff's over. That used to be the creed. On the ball's on the ground. This would be a break for Antioch if they could get. I think De La Salle recovered at the 36. 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that maybe.
Right.
He don't need to. All he needs to do is open the door.
Open the door and say, hey, I'm Bob Lattiser.
Let me give you an example. It was like the Army the day after 9/11. All they had to do was open the door.
That's right.
Additional friends of the program, Fine Things, Aladino's Pizza, American Plumbing, Straight Line Builders, the New Mecca Cafe, Furtado Heating and Air, Lee Home Sales, Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Dragon Slayer at Rivertown, Delta Bay Waterproofing, Performance Chiropractic, and Communications Buildings of America. First down, De La Salle, and this is the first time that they've started on this side of the field. Pitch outside, that's Drew. Drew has a first down. And Drew is tackled from behind, a good play that time. I think that was Lontavius Johnson who made that tackle. A gain of 13 and a first down for De La Salle.
You know the one thing Mo Drew with 6 carries for 91 yards. What I like about him, Dan, not only if he's just so smooth. He's a very smooth runner. I mean, you can talk about quickness and speed, but I like the way he glides when he gets in that open field.
This guy's got a future. He'll be playing at the next level. But you know what's weird? The last two guys that they had that were great running backs, you haven't heard a lot from them at the next level.
Look at this.
First down handoff, Drew, right up the middle. Another first down, gain of 14. But the great players they had are DJ Williams. He's playing at Miami, but he's not a superstar. He's not in the ink all the time. Chris Simon is playing at Tennessee, but he's not a superstar. Right. And they're really, neither of them are playing at the position that made him famous here at De La Salle.
Let's watch this replay, Dan. And on De La Salle's offensive side, the left side of John Chan and Parker Hanks and Eric Sandy and Cole Smith, the center, too. They're doing some work up. They're doing some getting down and dirty, winning the battle up front.
Option, Cecil, keeper. Breaks a tackle, still on his feet. Cecil's at the 15, he's at the 10, and he's tackled at the 6-yard line. I'll tell you what, they have so many weapons. They have Drew and Bates, and then they have Cecil who can run, and they have Colvin, and they have DeMonte Fitzgerald, and it's just an army of green.
It really is, Dan, and we're going to get a hold, though.
We're going to get a hold, and that's going to take that one back somewhat, and Cecil's hurt.
Yeah, it looks like he's down there, and he might have got a little burn on this turf. He's pulling up his pads and looking at it. Sometimes that happens, is when your knee hits first, that pad has come back, and you can get a little bit of burn.
By the offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, still first down.
And the spot of the foul was back near the line of scrimmage. That's a 33-yard gain negated, Steve. It's only going to be a 1st and 6 now, so they only gained 4 yards on that play.
Real nice play, Dan, and right here, he makes a decision to keep. Watch his cut. He sees the hole, and right here, he knows he's in business. Gets a nice little block downtown.
Got another block
by number 24,
by
Dan.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah. 24, DeMonte Fitzgerald opens up the door for him. And yeah, you see his knee hit there first, and usually that's what happens is when you're on this turf. If that knee hits first, he looks fine now. He's jogging off.
Damon Anderson made the tackle, but he's going to have to come off for a play. The backup quarterback is Kevin Lopina, number 12, and we'll see if he comes on. And it is Kevin Lopina. And Lopina,
6'2", 200 pounds, Dan. Here's our scissors. Let's watch his knee if it hits first, Dan.
Oh, well, right there,
yeah,
right there.
Yeah, see, once your knee comes down this turf sometimes first, it peels back that pad that burns you.
I still have a scar from our 6th grade YMCA game where I caught a touchdown and we won at the Antioch Scorpions. It was a big, huge game.
Antioch Scorpions.
Yeah, we only lost 1 game in 2 years. We had a De La Salle kind of history going there. Hand off to Drew. Drew another hole. Bounces off of one Antioch tackler, brought down by 2 others. After a gain of about 14 and a first down. Now, Steve, we only lost 1 game in 2 years of basketball, soccer, and football. How impressive is that?
Well, I don't know. I'm not impressed because how old were you?
I was like 12.
Well, I am impressed because you're a good basketball. I was more impressed in your later years of basketball because one thing you could do is shoot. I seen you shoot, and you could shoot, but you know what? I hated guys like you because you go, hey, not only can I shoot, I will tell you I can shoot and still shoot. I hated guys like you.
Steve, I'm going to launch a 3, and it's going in.
I don't like guys like that. I hated guys like that.
And then you put Mike Rosinski, a 6'7" or 6'9"
That's who I got.
pro
That's
basketball player, on me. That was real fair.
Well,
it was easy running around your little.
Okay, Wall, you have your 4 threes. Now let me see you shoot over this guy.
Hand off to Drew. Drew on his feet inside the 10, bounces outside, and you can't teach that either, Steve.
No,
touchdown, Drew from 24 yards out with 3:46 to go second quarter, 41-6, Big Green Machine.
And Dan, that was better than The Great Escape right there in the movie. I mean, he was surrounded by enemy, and he just, we got to see this on replay. Boy, what a player. He's just
unreal.
really smooth. Let's watch this replay right here. And Dan, right here, he gets a big running start. And watch this. He's corralled. There's a big hit. His leg just comes out. Oh, look at this. He just lets him go by him. He stops, puts the brakes on, says, I'll see you guys later.
And as you like to say, off the Bay Meadows.
Off the Bay Meadows to the tracks.
Ben Swagger's kick is good. 42-6. De La Salle. A moral victory, though, for Antioch here in the second quarter. They've only been outscored 14-6 after the 28-0 first quarter.
Yes, they really have. And there they are working on Cecil's knee right there.
There's Cecil's knee, and he might have a little. We might not see any more Cecil, knowing that they have a big game coming up next week. But you can
see the burn?
Yeah.
Did I call that?
No, that stuff hurts, man.
Every
this
once
stuff
in a while.
isn't like
oh, no.
It's like falling on the asphalt outside your house.
It's like falling in front of Hugo's about 3 in the morning.
You know all about that.
Well.
I used to I get calls from Hugo, so will you come pick Sanchez up?
I know.
I said, do I need my car, a stretcher, or a shovel?
But I haven't had a drink in 12 minutes. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, since our pregame meal.
Yeah.
42-6 here in the first half. And we'll try to keep things positive in the second half.
Oh, yes, we will. And you know what, like I say, Dan, is you know what? I tell everybody, just sit back in your recliner, enjoy these guys.
That's the other thing. People ask us, why don't you do the Salle? And sometimes you look at the game and say, is it going to be a game?
But you got to show them. You got to show them.
You get to a point where then you come down and say, take a look at the precision, take a look at the talent.
Right.
It's enjoyable for tonight.
Right.
And then next week, hopefully, the game that we bring you will probably be a little bit more competitive at that point. But really, in the first round, Steve, there aren't a lot of competitive games.
No, there's not, because you got 1s versus 8s. And
right. Castile at the 7-yard line, waits for his blocking, breaks outside, and then he's tackled at the 15.
And Dan, to me, this is going to be the most interesting drive for Antioch right here. Because I'll tell you why. They got their confidence in them. They drove the ball down the length of the field almost, and they scored on these guys. The turnovers are hurting the Panthers. I mean, there's not that big of a
that don't look
total.
as bad as
no,
it,
but the last year, that 3-0, that's killing them. But this is going to be very interesting, Dan, because they did very good up front with their line, controlling the line and running the ball. So let's see what Antioch's got up their sleeve.
First down, Antioch. The ball at the 17-yard line of the Panthers. Handoff. And there's just a mass of green around the Antioch runner. I believe it's T. Dixon, and it is T. Dixon.
And Mike Pretori, he was in on it, number 52, down there at the bottom, raising a little havoc.
Eric Sandy, who'll probably be going on to a Division I school, was there as well. Steve, we mentioned some of the numbers, 10 straight North Coast Section crowns. This would be their 11th if they win their next 3 games. Their last loss, of course, the infamous 35-27 loss to Pittsburgh in the 1991 North Coast Section 3A title game. I was at that game, and that was by far, and I'm not lying to you, the best game I've ever seen, and I'll tell you why that was the best game I've ever seen. Last week's Monte Vista San Ramon, a very close second, because there was actually a little bit of defense played in the Pittsburgh De La Salle game.
Okay.
Loma play action, rolling out with the option, and he's tackled for a loss. That play really hasn't worked. I think the problem with that is Loma is not a true option quarterback. He tends to hesitate when he gets outside, and he's much better rolling out of the pocket when he has a passing option.
And Kyle Bailow was in on that, Dan, and on that play right there. And I agree with you totally, But you know what? It's just when you play a team like this, they come at you in waves, and they're so quick. They're coming everywhere, Daniel. And, so that's the thing, It's they're just very fast on defense.
There's some ice on Brett Cecil's
Oh, yeah, they'll probably try to get
I agree. You see, it's almost like you got to throw the kitchen sink at him and put a new offense in run 6 plays you've never ran before just to try to get yourself into the ball game. Third down. Handoff this time to Brown, and Brown is close to a first down. Going to bring up an interesting situation for Ferris. 4th and 1 here, Steve.
I think you're going to be more like about 4th and 2, Dan. No, you're right, Dan. 4th and 1. And about this juncture, I'm going to say, what the heck? Let's go for it.
When am I wrong?
You were wrong by having me work with you. That wasn't a very smart move.
That was a great move.
Okay. What was it like with Callum?
Clay does a great job. Coach Whitman did a good job.
Okay.
Al Anthony has a nice bald head. I mean... Coach Ferris's brother. They're going for it. Antioch, 4th and 1.
It's there.
Brown got a first down. Yeah. Good call. Hey, why not? What the heck?
Oh, hey, come on. It'd
be nice just to run the clock out here. Antioch down 42-6. But Antioch in the second quarter has started to play.
Yes, they have, Dan, and they're kind of starting to get settled down. There's some Antioch people.
There's the ZZ Top guys again.
There's the ZZ Top. That's Haggerty.
Oh, that's Haggerty.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got no bear.
Where's Garcia?
Garcia's next to him with the cap on.
Did he shave?
No, that ain't Garcia.
Oh, I don't know. I thought maybe he shaved this
They were in the Mecca the other night after the game. I talked to Martine.
I heard you held court till 10 o'clock.
Oh, yeah, heck.
I was in after the corn concert.
Yeah, they told me you were there.
Hand off to Dixon. Dixon straight ahead. Ball's on the ground, but I think they're going to call him down after a gain of 5 out to the 35. 1 minute to go here in the first half. Stick around at halftime. We're going to have some special footage of you last week. On Sunday, we've got some footage.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah, we do. Okay, so Cecil will not be back, according to the guys down on the field. He bruised his knee, and Lapina will go the rest of the way for De La Salle, which is not a bad thing for them to get a backup quarterback some work. Second down with 32 seconds to go, and Loma's going to run that option again. And that time he looked a little bit better. But see, that's where he has problems. Instead of,
and the ball's on the ground.
And the ball's on the ground, and it's a fumble. You don't turn up into the defender. You try to run away from him, and that's got to frustrate the coaching staff for Antioch.
Yeah. And you're going to see, Dan, that this ball was stripped. I don't know what they're going to call right here. They may call it down. Nope, they're giving it to De La Salle. I'd like to see this in the replay because I think what happened, he got stripped, Dan.
It's just when he had a lane, he was doing great, and then he turned right into number 24 Fitzgerald. Now watch it.
Watch. Here we go. And let's watch number 4 right here.
Okay,
and watch him turn. Let's see if he doesn't get stripped
right into him right there.
And right there, 24 Fitzgerald. Yep, he just takes the ball away from him.
And he took the ball. Not only did he turn into him, but he took 5 turnovers for Antioch. Yeah, that's just killing him. Not only did he turn into him, but that guy took the ball away, Fitzgerald. So. Steve, this would be interesting. You would think that they would just kneel down and get out of here.
Oh, no, not these guys.
Well, you were just talking about integrity.
Well, I mean, they're trying to make things happen.
And they go for a touchdown. And the ball is caught at the 5-yard line. See, that's where I'm sorry. I'm going out of here ahead 36 and kneeling down.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Dan? Let me tell you why he does this. Because ever in the future, if you need this to happen, if you get it done, let's watch the replay right here. 3-step drop right here. He puts it up for grabs. Now, you cannot defend this any better. Watch this defender. He turns back, he goes up with him, and he just out-jumped for the ball. By number 26, Daniel.
That was Colvin who made the catch, and Lontavius Johnson. You saw Lontavius Johnson going crazy on the end. I'm just saying my philosophy.
Yeah.
I'm not ripping on anyone. I'm just saying I would have knelt down and got out of here with 18 seconds to go. That's how I would have done it. Yeah. Now, you want to do it your way, you do it your way. Whatever floats your boat, Steve. Or lifts your skirt up or gets you happy or whatever, you know.
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Whatever Don Johnson used to say on Nash Bridges.
But you know what? My only counter to that, there's Mo Drew with 10 rushes for 148 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not bad for a half. But I'm just saying that Coach Ladouceur always looks at it to where in the future we may have to go 50 yards in 12 seconds. And if we do it now, that's going to give us more confidence to do it if we have to do it later. That's the way he looks at things.
I understand that.
Okay.
I'm just saying at 42-6 in the first half, I wouldn't do that to that other team.
Okay, I understand.
That's my philosophy.
And I understand that.
And I'm supposed to be the bad guy. I'm supposed to be the guy who listens to Iron Maiden. I'm supposed to be a guy who goes to all the rock concerts, and you're the church guy, and you're telling me you go for the jugular.
Did I tell you Johnny Desmond was at church Sunday? Tell me what kind of, huh? Yeah, I told my wife, Johnny Desmond church, you know what she said? We're going to another church.
Well, that's all I'm saying. I'm not really necessarily saying what's right or wrong. I'm just saying my philosophy.
I understand.
It's like in baseball. Do you steal with a 7-lead run?
I understand.
You know, some guys do it, some guys don't. I'm just saying I wouldn't have done it. First down from the 5, and now they kneel. Maybe he heard me. I don't know. That's an interesting play. Now, do you really think he said throw it down there and fall at the 5 so we can get the nice pass but don't go into the end zone? I don't know, Steve. That's an interesting set of downs right there.
Well, you know what the people in the home are saying? These guys have no idea what they're talking about because we were both wrong. Go ahead, Daniel.
Well,
finish up business.
That's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
Yes,
De La
it
Salle
is.
42, Antioch 6 here at halftime. We'll be back with the second half after this on AT&T Broadband.
Is made possible by a generous donation from A&D Creative Trophies. They specialize in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies. Located on West 6th Street in Antioch. Simply the best selection, price, and service. That's A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch. Mention the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week and receive 5% off your next order. Mazzei, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC Truck Company on West 10th Street. For over 50 years, Matt Mazzei and his courteous, no-pressure sales staff has helped thousands find the right car or truck for their particular budget and needs. That's Mazzei's in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. Thanks again to all our friends from AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio in Walnut Creek.
Hi, Frankie. It's Christy. Do you want to come over for a swim?
Wow, I'll be right over. What are you doing, Christy?
Oh, hi, Frankie. My oil's really dirty. Will you change it for me?
I thought we were going swimming, though. I guess so.
Dee, thanks. All the stuff's in the garage, but don't make a mess, otherwise my dad will get mad.
Well, I'm done changing your oil and filter. Now I'm going to go to the certified center on the corner and recycle your oil and filter.
You don't need to go through all that trouble, Frankie. I got a much better idea of what to do with the oil and filter. My city has curbside oil and filter recycling. Just seal it up tight and put it on the curb with the other recyclables. Call 1-800-NO-DUMPING for more information or check out the website at www.funnelhead.com.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Lee Holmes Sales, home of the $299 camper shell. With over 250 shells in stock, open 7 days a week, we treat your truck like our own. Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Northern California's largest radio control racing facility behind the fairgrounds on 10th Street. Dragon's Lair at Rivertown in downtown Antioch, specializing in stained glass windows, picture framing, collectibles, jewelry, and items for home and garden. Delta Bay Waterproofing, a specialty contractor that specializes in caulking, waterproofing, and coatings throughout the greater Bay Area. Performance Chiropractic and Rehabilitation Center in Concord, Clayton Valley Sports Injury Specialist. Auto Industrial and General Injury Care on Treat Boulevard in Concord. Communication Buildings of America, local manufacturers of portable communication shelters, general contractors, metal fabrications, and custom fiberglass in downtown Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Here, make a wish. He loves me.
Will you marry me? Be my wedded wife.
Jory's Flowers, 2 locations in Wall Creek and Concord. Call now and receive $10 off your next order. Minimum order $35 plus tax and delivery. Jory's Flowers. What do you want your flowers to say?
Back at Diablo Valley College, a halftime score. The De La Salle Spartans, the #1 team in the country, 42, and Antioch 6. Dan and Steve and the great crew on AT&T Broadband. Steve, understand that last Sunday you had some activities that you didn't tell me about. You had tickets to the Raider game? Oh, really? What's this all about? There you are in the black hole.
Oh, my God. Well, you know.
Right there. Now, wait a minute. I heard at halftime you went in and changed. And what is this outfit all about?
What are you
there
talking
you are.
about?
We're highlighting you there.
That's Tom Arnold.
In the black hole. Now, look at this outfit you changed into at halftime. What is that? Was that Raiderette tryouts?
I'm telling you, that's Tom Arnold.
Oh, my goodness. The best damn sports show period. And we're just as goofy as those 5 guys. Oh, my God. There's Matt Bolander in the background off to the right. Let's take a look at the highlights of the first half. And there were a lot of highlights if you're a De La Salle fan,
there was.
Steve. Let's take a look at them. Here's that first touchdown. This is Drew, the first of 4. And Drew from 9 yards out. And
Eric Sandy, big block on that left side, opening up the door for him.
He could have ran to...
he could have ran to wherever he wanted to run to because he had the whole world there.
Could have ran down to the ice cream place down in Pleasant Hill. Here's the pass. This is actually a reception by Fitzgerald, a fumble.
Anderson gives him a big hit, strips him.
And the ball bounces right to Cameron Colvin, who takes it in from 4 yards for a touchdown.
Johnny on the spot.
Johnny on the spot. And then here's Drew once again.
Yeah, here's Mo Drew here. Look at big number 71, Sandy again, and number 10, Parker Hanks leading the way, and that's just like easy pies like we're going to have after this game.
We're going to have pie.
Yeah, we always have pie.
This actually said a 24-yard run. That was a 4-yard run. Here's a little delayed draw to Drew, and that's a bad thing to do because it gives all the blockers time.
And you just see helmets on everybody. Everybody's helmets on numbers, and then speed takes over, and pretty much here it's just, you're hoping for daylight savings time, and it's not going to happen. Because they need to set the clocks back about an hour.
About a year.
Yeah.
So that was his third touchdown. It's 28-0 at that point. And then Cecil gets into the act.
Yes, he gets in the act. He says, hey, don't forget me. I can run this offense, and I can do some few things. And he just wills his way into the end zone. And De La Salle right there. The motors are running full tilt about right then.
Here's the one highlight for Antioch. On 4th down, after 3 straight plays into the line, Antioch was forced to go outside to Castile, and he ran this one in from 1 yard out.
Brett the real deal Castile on the outside, and he just goes to the pylon, and speed pays a price for him right there.
And as if it wasn't enough, Maurice Drew came back with a 24-yard run to close out the scoring here in the first half. This made it 41-6. Ben Swanger's kick was good. It was 42-6.
Spectacular fashion right here, Daniel. And right here, he's just kind of waits up and just kind of that shows you his low gravity to the field right there. That he's got real good feel for the game, and he just let them guys over pursue him, and he went on the end zone.
42-6, De La Salle over Antioch. Here's a look at the stats in the first half. De La Salle, not exactly just totally dominating. I mean, they look pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's not like 500-2.
Right.
As a basketball game I saw the other day, the final score is 125-2, and I think you were on that team and got the 2. 304 total yards for De La Salle, 235 rushing though. That'll do you in just about any night. 69 passing, 17 first downs. Antioch with 135 rushing, doing a pretty good job running the ball.
Yeah.
The big stat, though, Steve, is the 5 turnovers.
Oh, you can't do that with a team like that.
That's been Antioch's MO, though. They've turned the ball over more than just about any team in this area. For De La Salle, Drew has 148 yards rushing in the first half and 4 touchdowns. Bates has 34, Cecil 49. Passing, Cecil's 2 of 4 for 29. Lapine is 1 of 4 for 1 of 1 for 40 yards. Colvin had the 1 reception for 40, also the touchdown. Fitzgerald 2 catches for 29 yards. For Antioch, Castile 39 yards on 10 carries. Brown 68 yards on 5 carries. Dixon had 5 carries for 10 yards. Lomas 2 of 4 for 29. Nolan caught 1 pass for 11 yards. 42-6 at halftime. We'll be back with the third quarter after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems and stadium-style seating. Catch the back-to-school movie special at their Pittsburgh location with rolled-back admission prices and a free concession coupon each week on the Brendan Pittsburgh website page. And RSC Rental Service Corporation in Martinez. RSC offers a wide variety of equipment specific to the petrochemical industry, as well as the general contractor and homeowner. We deliver straight to the site and have a fully trained staff of mechanics and office personnel to fit every need. That's Rental Service Corporation, 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Hey, get me out of here! Help! Help! Help!
Wow, a filter that talks.
Wow, a human that doesn't know throwing an oil filter in the garbage can will pollute our landfills and our environment.
I've got a better plan for the future of Mr. Filter. After changing your oil and filter, place the filter in a sealed plastic bag. Make sure it doesn't leak, and take it to a certified used oil and filter collection center. They will then properly dispose of Mr. Filter in an environmentally friendly way.
Hey, wait a second. Don't close that door. Don't close it. Whoa!
Recycle your used oil filters for a cleaner future. For more information, call 1-800-NO-DUMPING or check out my website at www.funnelhead.com.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Fine Things, Italian charm bracelets, Yankee Candle, Willow Tree Angels, and beautiful gifts. Wonderful cards in downtown Antioch. Aladino's Pizza, located on Sunset Drive, right off the Hillcrest exit. Aladino's Pizza has big screen satellite TV for all the big sporting events. Antioch's finest pizzeria. American Plumbing, your plumbing specialist on G Street in downtown Antioch. Sales, repairs, and emergency service. That's American Plumbing, serving East and Central Contra Costa County. Straight Line Builders, specializing in room additions, add-ons, and fencing. Let Jim Carey, a licensed general contractor, do the job right the first time. The new Mecca Cafe on Railroad Avenue in downtown Pittsburgh, serving Contra Costa and beyond for over 30 years. Eat in or order to go. Guillermo and his crew cook with pride. Furtado Heating and Air, sheet metal fabrication for your residential, commercial, and industrial needs on West 10th Street in Antioch. Thanks again to all our friends from the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Yeah, I probably was that over.
Look at her, man.
You're right. You don't stand a chance.
I'll be right back.
Jory's Flowers, 24-hour phone service, 7 days a week. Call 1-888-400-ROSE.
These are gorgeous.
Would you like to go out sometime?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Hi. Can I get those right over there? Yeah, those right there.
Jory's Flowers, what do you want your flowers to say?
There's the number one team in the nation, the De La Salle Spartans, as they get ready for the second half here. Diablo Valley College, the first round 4A playoff game. Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez on AT&T Broadband. And Steve, I know you had a plot, and it involved something about a bus running over the offensive line. Is that the only hope?
Well, Dan, you know, at this point, what you're trying to do as a coach, when you're on the small end of a deficit like this, is a deficit a name? A word?
A small end of a deficit, yes.
Okay.
Not a deficit, a deficit.
Deficit. Anyway, what are we doing? I got to shut up?
Yeah, well, Tony wants to talk.
Oh, okay.
Send it down to Tony.
Let's go to Tony. Tony Schultz.
Yeah, guys, let's give some pub to that offensive line for De La Salle, doing a great job pushing around this Antioch defense. And I'm talking about Smith, Sandy, Fujimoto, Chan, and Balo, really opening up holes for the running game, giving the quarterbacks time to throw the ball. And guys, right now, that Panther defense, more holes than a screen door. Let's go back upstairs.
Well, I don't know about my screen door. How about more holes than Swiss cheese?
Well, I don't know. You know, have you seen where he lives, that guy? Have you seen his screen door?
But his jacket is worth more than our entire wardrobe.
Well, that's true.
Steve, the scary thing, of course, also is that De La Salle will get the ball to start the third quarter.
Well, you know what I was going to say, Dan? When you're on the short end of a score like this, you just try to install your kids, hey, you know what, guys? I'm not going to give up. I don't want you to give up. Go out there with a good attitude. You know what? Sometimes, and Ferris told me this, and it's true, sometimes life just deals you a deck of cards, a hand that you got to play. And, you know, and this is, you're up against the number one team. So I'm telling you, that's what he told me. Yeah, do you know what? I'll tell you what.
Are you out? Are you leaving?
I'm done with you. Anyway, Daniel, you just got to try to keep the morale up and try to get them to go out there and compete. That's the point I'm trying to make. Okay? And look at these guys. They're all still, you know, they're out there tapping.
You know what, Steve? When a lot of the things we talk about, it doesn't have anything to do with the players.
Strangle me. You want something?
No, I don't. Okay, well, right here. It never has anything to do with the players. It always has to do with other things that are going on. And I'm sure there'll be some people who watch this game and go, oh, those Antioch guys, they're ripping on everything that goes. You know,
I don't think we've ripped on nobody.
No,
I think we've been calling it like we've been seeing it. And the thing is, you got to realize, Antioch guys, hey, let me tell you something. There's some Antioch kids out on that team out there that we know on De La Salle.
Exactly.
And there's some kids on the other side we know. And you know what? This is just right here. This is the way it is. You got one playing 8, and the one happens to be the #1 team of the nation. Sorry, folks, that's the way it is. They don't got to apologize to nobody, the way I look at it.
There's the De La Salle band, and of course, some of the students in the band, as well as the cheerleaders, go to Carondelet across the street.
Sure, they do, across the street.
Very good athletic programs over there as well. But no one more dominating than the Big Green Machine.
Nobody. Except if you go to 2A and Miramani, and they're pretty dominating.
Yeah,
the
they're
little Green Machine.
100 behind.
100 what?
100 wins behind.
Wow.
They've won 35 in a row, and they've won 135
Jason Shores, number 41. He's going to kick off. And Jason's not the kind of guy you want to take to breakfast.
Kind of like you.
They
have the Steve Sanchez special down at Pumpkins. Here's a little pooch kick. Ball's going to come up short again. Taken by Colvin. It's nice to have Colvin. Now, what was that? I think they're saying he called for a
it's called fair catch.
Fair catch, but he the ball at the ground.
Okay, so what's your point?
That all rules have been abandoned here? What is this, a WWE match?
I don't know what's going on.
Do we have the replay of this? Tell me this didn't hit the ground. I thought you had to catch the ball to get a fair catch. No, right here. And the guy
he's calling it. He was waving his guys off. They thought he called the fair catch, so they called it in.
I don't think that was a fair catch. Well, I was saying, though, it's nice to have a guy like Colvin be your up guy, huh? Yeah. A guy with like 4.4 speed. Kevin Lapina is the quarterback for De La Salle here in the first half. Cecil out of the game for precautionary reasons with a sore knee. And straight up the middle on first down. That's Drew. Drew with now 150 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns tonight.
And they ran off that right-hand side of De La Salle's offense. Smith, Fudamojo, and Belo. And like Mr. Schultz on the sidelines been saying, he's giving him credit. I think we've been giving him credit. We've been calling him out.
See, I thought you were going to tell me he was related to Sergeant Schultz.
Well, that may make sense with that screen door remark you made.
Gain of 5. 2nd and 5 for De La Salle. Just started the third quarter. 42-6 Spartans on AT&T Broadband. Hand off to Bates. And Bates gets about 3. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 2. The Panthers have defended that play pretty well tonight.
Yes, they have. I think what De La Salle does, Dan, to a lot of people is they run that up the middle, and then as soon as you think you got it covered, they come to the outside.
Right.
You want to make a point there on Ferris Anthony?
Well, there's Ferris Anthony. I wanted to tell you, sometime in March, early March, we're going to have professional wrestling back in Antioch, and of course you and I can act like absolute buffoons during that broadcast.
Well, that's when we really have fun.
I want you in a cage match, DeCambria. 3rd and 1 here early in the third quarter. And a handoff to Drew, and Drew has a first down. There was a crushing block, and Drew has a lot more. Drew's at the 40, and Drew is going to go all the way. There is no one on the field that has the speed of Maurice Drew.
There's a flag down.
There's a penalty flag, and it could negate a 59.
Not going to. He's picking his flag up.
They're picking the flag up. It's a 59-yard run for Drew. Drew now over 200 yards, 5 touchdowns, and it's 48-6 here in the third quarter.
And, Dan, I think we got our real first good look of Drew's explosiveness. I mean, right there, Dan, he's been running, he's been doing good, but that's the real deal right there. That shows you right there what he's made of.
The scary thing about that, and we'll take a look at it when we get the replay after the extra point, but he had 2 or 3 guys to beat, and he beat them before they even got near him.
Yeah, and not only did he beat him to death. It's unbelievable.
I mean, they say one guy can't make the difference in football.
Oh, boy.
Not here. I mean, really, you take him out of there, I think this team could be, I think he's really the difference this year. In past years, it's been more of a team concept, but I think Drew really is just a spectacular player.
I think he might have missed it.
Oh, my goodness. Stop the presses. Ben Swanger missed an extra point. That guy is automatic. 48-6. Let's take another look at this touchdown. But watch, there's a crushing block right at the line of scrimmage.
71-74. They're outside pulling it and making it happen early, Dan. Belo and Sandy. And right here, just look at the guys surrounding him. You get a hand on him, and look at 4 right there. Head thinks he's got an angle. Now watch this. Goodbye. I mean, it's not even close. It's just,
And just to make Antioch feel a little bit better, there was a massive hold on De La Salle that probably not one official had the possibility of seeing.
Right.
But with the instant replay, it was clear as day. But you know what? It really don't matter. The band's having fun. De La Salle's ahead 48-6. We did a game over in Antioch in 99, I believe, or 98, and it was 48-3. So ahead of that pace, Steve. AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, the North Coast Section Championships, brought to you by great friends of the program here on AT&T Broadband, and they include Rocco's Ristorani and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters in Concord and Pittsburgh, James Bond's this week, Steve.
Yep.
Die Another Day, Jory's Flowers in Concord and Walnut Creek, and the Contra Costa Clean Water Program, and Mr. Funnelhead. Ben Swager's, Ben Swager, I think he's just getting tired because he's been kicking all night long. This is Straighten, and Straighten has a hole up the middle.
If he could have kept his balance, he might have been able to have a little bit of business, but
he fell over one of his own players, number 24, Jake Huff, who's a junior playing some on special teams tonight for Antioch. Antioch will take over at the 27-yard line. First down, 10:22 to go. Third quarter, 48-6. Big Green Machine.
It's going to be interesting, Dan. I know you talked to Ferris Anthony a little bit, and he was telling you about the splitting out the wide outs, double to the wide, and he said he might do it. Look at those numbers. Mo Drew, 13 carries for 250 yards. Let me do the math. Dink. That's 17.9 yards a carry.
Oh, geez, you wouldn't know that if you had a calculator.
17.9 yards a carry, I'm telling you.
He has 5 touchdowns, by the way. He had 4 in the first half.
17.9 yards a carry.
I got it.
All right.
That's the average length of your feedings.
That's right. And there's a nice little 3-yard run by Antioch.
Yep. Now stop it.
I know, I will.
One thing Ferris said, I asked him, some guys have literally, and I'm not going to say who, but some schools have called and don't put us on against De La Salle. We don't want to be on.
I know.
Ferris said, nope, you guys always do us right, so come on over.
That's right. And you know what? One thing about Ferris Anthony, he never ducks a fight.
No.
And he'll play anybody anywhere.
He was the Northwest States Division champion in wrestling somewhere.
Say that 4 times.
Yeah, in a pole match. 2nd and 7. That play went nowhere.
No.
Well, you know what? It's a 16.5 average. That was pretty good. Let's send it down on the field to Denise.
Thanks, Stan. Now, De La Salle's quarterback, Britt Cecil, has only been taken out for precautionary reasons and will be able to play next week. Back to you.
Very good job by
Denise.
Denise. And she's such a lovely gal.
She's very lovely.
She's very lovely. And she's nice.
She's very nice. She's everything. She's everything you aren't.
That's right. She's nice and she's pretty and she's
sweet.
She's sweet. That's right. She reminds me of my wife at that age. My wife was all those things.
Yes, she was. Third down. Play action. Loma throws, and he throws it right to Kavanaugh. That's the 3rd interception of the night. And Kavanaugh, if he can get by this Panther, and it was Dixon who knocks him out of bounds at the 9-yard line.
Yep.
Another turnover for Antioch. That's 6 in the ball game. And De La Salle is once again inside the 10-yard line. They'll take over with 8:50 to go. And Steve, that was another one of those passes where Kavanaugh just dropped back in the zone and just took a seam, and there you go.
And there was another guy reading it well too anyway, and there's a big turnover battle. No, folks, your screen's not right. Antioch's not winning 6-0. but right here, he just takes it on down, and I think you got Willie Gasper in the backfield. Who's with him, Dan? Mo Drew may be done for the night.
They were calling their relatives and saying, Antioch's ahead 6-0.
Yeah. No, that's turnovers, dear.
Yeah. Lapina running the option, and he runs it in for a touchdown. Oh, they're going to call him down at the 1-inch line. This is a makeup call for that last one.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they just come at you and wave. Yeah, how'd you like to have Willie Glasper as your backup running back?
There
That could probably start for every team in the league. Here's the
Matt Gervais at number 78, Dan. He made a nice block. Matt's in. I think we're going to see a lot of a few backups getting some time here. So it may take us a little while to recognize these guys, but we'll try to get their names in.
We had a shot of, someone said that it might have been Cecil on crutches on the sideline.
Oh, he's right here, Daniel.
No, he's not. He's in a stocking cap on the sidelines.
Yeah, that's not Cecil.
And Lapina takes it in for the touchdown. So De La Salle scores its 2nd touchdown just 4 minutes into the 3rd quarter, the 2nd touchdown of the 3rd quarter, and it's 54-6 here on AT&T Broadband. The band must be like on overtime right now.
Yes, it is. And they is that the Notre Dame band or
no?
Oh, that's
the De La Salle band.
Oh, okay. They sound like Notre Dame.
Now, Ben Swanger wants to make this extra point, and he does.
Right down the middle, baby.
Split the uprights. You saw the scoreboard, 7:59 to go, 55-6. Big Green Machine. Oh, we got to do the replay first, Steve. Take another look at it. Lapina,
okay, Dan.
Nice little 2-yard run.
This. Here we go. And he trips into the end zone. He just runs off the right side, Dan. I don't know which lineman they got in there.
Yeah, you're going to have to start learning because they're sending a whole wave of new guys in there. But the scary thing, Steve, is that a lot of people think that the second string could beat a lot of teams, and that's
well,
even
I'm sure they could.
Additional friends of the program: McGarry Motors, Quality RVs at discount prices, Humphreys on the Delta, Independent Copier Service, Antioch Automatic Transmission, and the Antioch Dental Group building with Dr. H.J. Soto and Dr. P.L. Colston. You know those guys, Dr. Soto and Dr. Colston?
Dr. Soto is really my dentist.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Hogue is, but Dr. Hogue left and Dr. Soto is. They're at 800 C Street, the old Rivertown.
We need some sponsors and friends for basketball. Would your business like to join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week? A great opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business while supporting local high school sports. Call 933-6264. We'll start our basketball coverage in the first week of January.
And what we're really doing, Dan, is we're looking for some companies in the Concord area over here on this side of the hill. So hopefully you guys over here can see this and want to support high school sports and support us bringing this to you.
Ben Swanger's kick, and this is going to take straight and back to the goal line, and they're going to let him bring it out. He's out to the 10, makes a cut, has some room outside if he elects to go that way, but he's forced out of bounds and forced all the way out to the track, and I think he's going over to say hi to his mom.
Yes, he is. He went all the way to the track. And
here's some of the basketball schedule that we've put together. We might add a couple of games to this. Camp Lindo at Acalanes kicks it off January 14th. Pittsburgh at De La Salle, that should be a good one.
Yep.
Alhambra at Los Lomas, and anytime we're in the DVAL, or the DFAL, excuse me, the Diablo Foothill, we'll do both games.
Sure.
So anytime you see Campo Lindo at Acalanes, Alhambra, Los Lomas, Campo Miramani, Acalanes, and then on February 28th, right back at Monte Vista at San Ramon.
And what we're going to do at that game, folks, we got Kyle Wright and Sam Keller both play for the basketball team, and after that we're having a cage match with Keller and
Wright.
And Wright, and I'll put my money on Keller on that one.
I think so. I think Keller's a little bigger. He's also a little, but you know what? He's a little cuter. And Wright will probably just muss his hair up.
But you know what? Something about Wright. Wright to do something sneaky. You know what I mean?
Dixon on first down, a gain of 5. There's some of the substitutes for De La Salle. We'll try to get you as many numbers as we can. You know, folks, we don't do this full time. We don't have 4 days to prepare like the Monday night crew. So we try to learn the starters' names for you and just bring as many as you can. Who on that tackle, Steve? Or are you just pointing out Chris Wilhelmy because you like his number?
No, I was going to say his name, but you said Wilhelmy, and now I'm glad I don't have to try to say it because I'd have said Wilhelmy.
The one I wish you would have had to say last week, you were Shabaniani. That was the
Shabani. I know Shabaniani.
Oh, okay.
I used to drink that in the 70s.
Second down handoff once again. I believe that's T. Dixon under the pile.
It's T. Dixon on the right-hand side, and I think they're going to move the change there, Dan. They ran behind Joe Vakini and Huggins.
Drew Weir made the tackle in at linebacker for the Spartans.
Good call, Daniel. Let's get some kids' names out there. It looks like they're going to be able to play some kids. Laddiser looks like he's going to pull the troops back and say, hey, you know what? It looks like we're going to play another game. Antioch's got nothing to hang their head about, Daniel.
No,
they've had a great season, and Coach Anthony will build on this. You can bet on that. And Borelli did a good job on calling the offense. They all did a great job.
They did a good job this year. Antioch had not had a winning season for a couple of years.
Look at that.
That was just a horse tie right there. Loma sacked. I saw number 50 in on that play, and that was Steve Fujimoto. I would assume that is Steve Fujimoto, who's now playing some defense.
Yeah. And he is from the Fujimoto family, Daniel.
Yes, he is. So as well as Loma's from the Loma family.
And let's watch 55 right here grab a hand on him right here. And just mug time right there. Look at this. You ain't going nowhere. Number 55 in on that was John Chan.
Well, so what they're doing is they're giving some of the guys that played offense an opportunity to play some defense.
Oh, well, ain't that just lovely?
They're just as good.
Yeah.
Isn't that scary?
Yeah, they're trying to stick, okay, we'll take our first stringers on offense and put them on defense.
Yeah.
They'll never notice.
They'll never know. Oh, there's that little there's got to be a name for this. It's
the wraparound draw.
Wraparound draw. That's right.
Draw.
That's what it's called.
Remember, I had that. You called the hot potato pitch, and I came up with a wraparound draw. Give me some. Love it over here. Daniel, I know it hurts you. You don't want to give no love. Give it.
I gave it to you.
All right, baby.
The wraparound draw.
All right.
All right. So
that's all I'm going to give
Dan 630, Steve 2.
It hurts, Joe.
I'm writing it down right now.
But you know what? Just like that basketball game, we lost 500-2. I hit that 2 at the buzzer.
Yeah.
We needed it.
Thanks God. I think everyone got a free chalupa. 3rd and 15 for Antioch. Pitch pass to Castile. And Castile actually had some success in the second quarter, and then
yes, he did.
That's the first time he's touched the ball in a while.
Yeah, and they're going to have to punt this deep down in their end of the zone.
And we'll try not to get too out of hand here in a 55-6 game, but we're going to have some fun, too.
We'll have a little bit of fun, but you know what? It's I'm really honored just to put De La Salle on. I am. I mean, I think it's great what they do with the kids over there, and to have a streak like that, to be #1 in the nation right here in our own backyard, it's phenomenal. I mean, and you would like to see them get a little competition, but you know what? They're just too darn good. They're too darn coached well. And
well, there's a lot of things you have to think about as well. Soares to kick, and we'll talk about that after this punt. That's a good punt this time.
Yes, it is. It's going to take a good bounce, too.
Yeah, it takes a real good bounce. Well, that's a great kick.
Yeah.
That's out of bounds at the 30-yard line. That's a 47-yard punt for Jason Soares. And De La Salle will take over. But, Steve, there's things you got to talk about. Well, let's talk about additional friends of the program, and then we'll talk about it. Fine Things, Aladino's Pizza, American Plumbing, Straight Line Builders, the New Mecca Cafe, Furtado Heating and Air, Lee Home Sales, Delta RC Raceway and Hobby Shop, Dragon's Lair at Rivertown, Delta Bay Waterproofing, Performance Chiropractic, and Communications Buildings of America. I'm sure that they would love to go on the road and play all these games. But you know what Terry Edson told me earlier this year? Is that Ladouceur thinks he's kind of a psycho because he schedules all these games. If it was up to Ladouceur, they'd just play and never go anywhere, just play at home, and because he doesn't want to get all that. Lapina wrapped up there after a short game. Yeah, I mean, well, you saw the power ratings. They're number 22 in the NFL.
Jorge Lopez, number 25. He did a good wrap-up job right there on the quarterback, on the option right there.
I thought that was an interesting quote, though, when Edson told me that. He goes, Bob thinks I'm a little psycho when I schedule these games in Hawaii and schedule Long Beach Poly, because he would just like to play around here and not have to worry about it. And that's something you got to worry about is when, they got studies. They're still students. They're still high school kids. You can't take them out on the road every week. This isn't the NFL.
No, it's really not. And, I think Coach Ladouceur, the staff, realize that there's more to life than football.
Lapina runs the option once again and a pitch. This is a new number for us and a new back in the game. Carlo Alvear. And in the Veer offense, he's the mascot.
Carlo Alvear. Let's go down to Tony, Dan, and see what he's got to say.
Guys, I'm with freshman offensive line coach Paul Garania, 2001 graduate of De La Salle. And what does everybody want to know? It's like, why is this team so good? What are the top 2 reasons why these guys are the best in the country?
Everybody thinks, we do get good players, and that is one of the reasons. But the main top reason is because of our football coaching staff. They know the game really well, and Coach Ladouceur, he just expects everything to be perfect, and that's bottom line.
Is it a situation where it's just better preparation, better scouting beforehand, of knowing the other team's better than, say, some of the other head coaches do?
It is a lot of scouting. We every week they get a scouting report, and they know what the other team's going to do, and it's a lot of preparation. The coaches put a lot of time into it. Usually they put in almost all weekend into the preparation for the next week.
Guys, whatever it is, it's working to a T. Back upstairs.
Thanks very much, Tony. Another good interview down on the sidelines. Mike Paulson made that tackle, and he's made an impact, and he's going to be a good player for Antioch.
Yes, he did, and he's making them punt, and Antioch's going to get the ball back.
And they're punting.
And you know what?
There are people coming in from the press has been called in to see to take a photo of this.
Let's get Action News down at DVC. They're punting the ball in the third quarter, De La Salle. It's hard to believe. Let's get a helicopter up there.
And here it comes. And it actually takes an Antioch bounce back towards the 30-yard line where it'll be down. Antioch will take over with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter, 55-6, De La Salle. And, Steve, we will try to keep things in hand here, but
Daniel, I think in the last couple of years we've kept things in hand. We've learned as we go along.
We had some outtakes, though, back, and I wish we could show you some of those.
Well, we can't because, Dan, due to things that were not into our control, actually it made us kind of overreact to things. But now that we're back down on Earth and we're sea level, the thing about it is that, these are all a bunch of kids. They're all a bunch of great kids. And you know what? Anybody who puts times in with these kids, I respect all of them. Both sides of the field here, I respect all these guys tremendously.
Well, these guys have been playing for 3 months. They've been out there since August, and the end of the season, obviously, tonight for the Antioch Panthers. De La Salle will play for 2 more weeks. But, they're starting basketball that much earlier. As you see Castile on first down. Basketball's already in practice, and they're going to be playing tournaments here in 2 weeks.
And you know what? Why we're doing this game, one thing I want to say, I want to congratulate Coach Frank Alacco for the job he did last year, with the De La Salle Spartans, Dan. I think it was his best coaching job he's ever done.
Well, he's the one guy, over here, that team doesn't get as much credit as the football team because the football team, he actually goes out every once in a while and can lose a game. And he lost some last year, but he does do a great job coaching that team.
But nobody thought they could go that far.
Hand off to Dixon, and Dixon all-stots that one ahead. And here's a new number for you, number 78, or 9, Jonathan Lyama. There's a name. Can you say that 5 times quick, Steve?
Jonathan Lyama, Jonathan Lyama, Jonathan Lyama, Jonathan Lyama, Jonathan Lyama.
And I hope that's the
pronunciation. Thank you. Set me up again. Folks, that's the way it goes.
It's close enough.
His parents going to go, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him, I'm going to kill him. Thanks, Dan. And let me look at it. It's Lyama.
3rd and 5.
Our Lima.
and Loma, the quarterback.
Yeah. Here's a pitch.
Pitch outside to Brown, and Brown is going to lose yardage, and he doesn't know who's tackling him. These are all new guys over there. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. Kavanaugh was there as well as number 14. Chris Bizot.
Bizot?
Yeah.
The T-Silent.
And Terrell Ward, who I'm sure his dad is the Terrell Ward on the coaching staff.
It is, and Terrell Ward, he came up through the Antioch AYF football program, and he was a great player. And his dad, I think, was a professional player.
Join us next week. The North Coast Section playoffs continue. The games will be announced on the Contra Costa Times next week at 7 p.m. And after we got to show you the spiffy graphic Matt has created for you because sometimes I get ahead of myself. Soares to kick again. And another good kick. After that first one, he has really done well.
Yeah, he has.
Fair catch called for by Colvin at the 27-yard line. Reminding you once again, next week, the North Coast Section playoffs continue the second round, the semifinal round, and at 7 o'clock next Saturday and Sunday, we will have the game of the week for you. A 43-yard punt, 45-yard punt, a 39-yard punt. Who is this spotter that we have? Additional friends of the program: Pacific Pride Distribution, Joe's Food and Gas, Skip's Copier, Pace Auto Sales, Narrow Road Design, Antioch Opticians, Rock Bottom Records, and Images of 3 Hair Salon. We'll get you the rest of them after this play. De La Salle takes over with 25 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ahead, 55-6 on AT&T Broadband. And a penalty, and I believe a procedure penalty.
They're going to get a motion on him.
Antioch Chiropractic and Dr. Bill Riston, Golf and Games. Oh, we're going to wait for the call? Or we'll wait for the call, and then we will do the rest of the friends. Referee Brian Chapman with the call.
Offense is lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
And now we can continue with our business. Additional friends of the program, Dr. Bill Riston.
And thank you, Dr. Bill. He does a great job. And all of our UPS drivers go see Dr. Bill in Antioch.
Golf and Games, S&S Imports, Triton Environmental and Engineering, Antioch Armory, Pantel's Music Box, Bestwick Insurance. How are the Pantel brothers?
Well, they're doing very good. They told me to tell you hi, and their business is shooting through the roof.
Steve, I know another business that's shooting through the roof, too. Here's a nice run by Alvear.
Okay, okay, Dan, I'll tell you what, I'll bite. What?
A chimney sweeper.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Willie Gasper on the carry.
I thought that was Alvear. Was it Glasper?
Number 15.
Okay, then it was Glasper. That'll be the last play of the third quarter. You would think that they're behind 55-6 when you look at his face.
Well, you know what he's thinking right there, Dan? He's there thinking, he goes, I got to get some more kids in.
Yeah, because these seniors are going out.
I got to get some kids.
End of the third quarter, De La Salle 55, Antioch 6. We'll be back after this on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from A&B Creative Trophies. They specialize in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies. Located on West 6th Street in Antioch. Simply the best selection, price, and service. That's A&B Creative Trophies of Antioch. Mention the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week and receive 5% off your next order. Mazzei, Pontiac, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Buick, and GMC Truck Company on West 10th Street. For over 50 years, Matt Mazzei and his courteous, no-pressure sales staff has helped thousands find the right car or truck for their particular budget and needs. That's Mazzet's in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West. Thanks again to all our friends from AT&T Broadband Game of the Week.
Authentic Italian atmosphere.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Room for the whole family.
Rocco's Ristorante.
Pizza, beer, sports.
Rocco's!
Great place for your next team party.
Rocco's.
The best pizza in the East Bay.
Rocco's.
Your table is always ready at Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria at the corner of Oak Grove and Ignacio in Walnut Creek.
The North.
Back for the fourth quarter here at Diablo Valley College, 55-6 De La Salle. 2nd and 9 for the Spartans, as they have outscored Antioch. You can see the difference in the points as they've been spread out over 3 quarters. Little pass out in the flat from Lapina to Glasper, and Glasper has a first down and is knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line by number 6, Zach Robinson.
And he got our cameraman. There you see right there.
Oh. And,
I think Jonathan Martin. He's earning his money today. He's laughing, though. Let's see if we can't get a replay of that, of Jonathan going down. That was the play of the year for AT&T Broadband cameraman.
Or Broadband cameraman.
Well, I mean, he was the only one who stopped Glasper.
Well, whatever possessed you to call it Broadvan?
I don't know. Because I had a broad, she was in a, well, I can't go. Anyway, watch this. Let's watch Jonathan make the tackle, folks. Here's Glasper, gets a shake and bake right here. And watch this. Jonathan goes, I'll take him. And then, well, there, goodbye.
That looked like an NFL shot, right? That was great. Lapina on first down, and he gets a couple.
Number 82 of the Antioch Panthers, Daniel.
Steve, I want to remind all the folks the North Coast section of championship game will be held. Oh, it's Brandon Franks who made that. You can't say Franks?
I just wanted to show you.
Okay.
Go ahead, Daniel. Stay with your thought. Go ahead.
I wanted to point out to you that the North Coast section 3 and 4 East Bay Foothill Championships, East Bay Football Championships, might include Foothill.
Foothill, you're right.
Will be held December 7th at 4 and 7:15 at the Oakland Alameda County Network Associates Coliseum, better known as the Net.
Right.
Or the place where Mount Davis is built.
Or where Tom Arnold goes to see the Raiders.
Yeah, 2nd and 9. Lapina to throw, and he throws far sideline, and that's complete. And a good play by both parties on that play.
Yep.
Number 81, Drew Curto, made the catch.
And number 35, Curtis Brown.
Right, now here's another replay.
Okay, now let's watch Jonathan Martin here, folks. This guy gets paid 37 cents to do this. Watch this. Oh, hello,
man.
J-Lo.
J-Mo.
J-Lo. What's Jonathan? Yep.
That's true. Where was his grip on that play?
Well, they're so quick, Dan. De La Salle.
3rd and 3 from the 48 of Antioch. Early in the fourth quarter, 55-6 De La Salle. And this is Glasper. On Glasper straight arms head, and Glasper's going down the sidelines. He's at the 20, he's at the 10, and he's knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line by Brown. And I'll tell you, this guy's the backup running back.
Yep. And I'll tell you what, right there, if a district attorney sees that on TV, that could be assault on him, what he did to head right there. Because that is a legal blunt object to the head. And I'd like to see that on a replay. Look at the band. They're just rocking around.
I haven't seen that much of a band excited since last week.
Now watch number 4 come up here. Now watch this. This is lethal. He goes, I got him. Okay, yeah, I got him. He goes, get out of here. Huh? Oh,
that looks
man.
like your wife when you come home at night.
Now it looks like my kids when I'm going over the refrigerator. Then he tries to do it again, and
Brown was knocked out of bounds at the 12-yard line. First down, De La Salle. 10-11 to go, fourth quarter. Handoff to Glasper, straight ahead. And he gets a couple. There's a good shot of the Antioch Panthers. You know, Steve, it's unfortunate we haven't been able to name, and let's just talk about some of the guys on the Antioch side because there haven't been a lot of plays made, and this is not we're not pointing that out for point. I just want to say these guys, they're still in there battling. Zunigan, Jaggers, and Brown, and T. Dixon, Weisinger, Coons, but there just haven't been that many plays where they have been involved in because they're running outside, and it's a lot of safeties and tackles.
That's right.
Safeties are making the tackles.
That's right.
Which isn't a very good sign.
No, and it's not a good stat when your safety man is leading the team in tackles.
No. And that's Al Veer in the veer, and he veers into the end zone.
Yes, he does.
And that's got to be a record for saying veer in one sentence.
Yes, it does.
Touchdown De La Salle, 61-6 with 9:23 to go here in the fourth quarter. And as you said, Steve, just marvel at the
beauty of it all.
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. The second team comes in, and look, I'm telling you right now, Lapina and Glasper and Alvear could start for most of the teams in this area.
Oh, sure they could.
61-6. And they're missing a player. Curto is coming on the field here, the late player. They're probably using the second team field goal team here as well. And here's another shot, and a record tonight for field goal extra point attempts from the end zone. That kick is good. 62-6. De La Salle. Now, Steve, I want to show you something. Last week the 49ers had some problems with their field goal kicking.
Yes.
Well, I want to show you a little clip Matt put together of an audition that he had.
Okay.
Okay, here's the 49ers from last week.
There you go.
And then here's the, oh, jeez.
Good moving, very, very good to me. Get middleman here. Get middleman here.
That was Terrell Owens asking for Metal Matt. Now, there he is. That's Metal Matt in one of those kick for money. Look at that. And he put it right down the middle.
Yes, he did.
Now, I don't know why he's wearing a 49er jersey because he's a Rams fan. But now watch this. This is today. Right down the middle. And so, Matt is going to kick for the Niners on Monday night against Philadelphia.
Look at this.
Now, look at this, though.
Those guys need to get a room.
Oh, he pulled a muscle. He just got cut.
Wow, Matt can kick the ball.
I'll tell you. Look, what is that?
Oh. Well, folks, now we've drawn the line and we've crossed over.
We've crossed the line.
Now you know what Secretariat looks like when he crosses at the Belmont after about running 3 miles.
Where's my bucket? Drew a 9-yard run. Colvin a 4-yard run. Drew a 4-yard run. Drew a 45-yard run. Cecil Castile had a touchdown for Antioch. Drew had 2 more. Lapina and they didn't write this one down right for me. Alvear. Now watch this again.
Oh, no, not again. Please, no. Let me tell you something right there, folks.
Terrible.
That guy needs to lay off the Fruity Pebbles. There's no doubt about it.
He needs to lay off the Fruity Pebbles and about 6 other things, too.
Dan, what's nice about that, though? Guys like that take a lot of pressure off me and you.
Yeah, we don't look as stupid as we thought we did.
Okay, Dan. I feel like Al Michaels and John Madden up here right now.
Antioch, a new quarterback in the game. That's Brett Fisher taking over for Loma, and Brett Fisher's dad, Bob, is the athletic director at Antioch. Castile, good run on first down. Tackled near sideline after a gain of 7.
And Brett Fisher, he'll be a big part of that Antioch basketball team this year.
Daniel Fujimoto was over there to make the tackle for
and my boy plays his first game tomorrow against Monte Vista. And Saturday they got a game.
Is he on the freshman team?
Well, he's trying to make it, Daniel. I think he's got a chance. We'll see what happens.
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. A great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264.
Yes, sir. And Metal Matt will fix you one up.
Hand off to Johnson. Johnson around the left side. Good run, and he runs right into one of his own players, but he gets the first down out to the 36-yard line. That was one of the best plays of the second half for Antioch.
Yes, it was, Dan. And then, if you notice right before the end of the first half, they were running the ball pretty well. They kind of, when you're so far behind, I guess Antioch thinks, hey, we need to pass. But they were pretty successful at running the ball there for a big series. So we might see them just kind of say, hey, let's there's a good shot of Mr. Cecil right there. He's done a great job as a quarterback this year, leading this number 1 team. Got a little Nike hat on.
8:25 to go in the ballgame. 62-6. De La Salle on a penalty.
Antioch, I think a false start on the right-hand side, Dan. We won't mention names because we want to let the innocent remain innocent until they are brought to justice.
You've learned a lot from your
false start by the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I just studied law a lot.
I was going to say, it's amazing. You know a lot about misdemeanors and felonies and DAs.
I studied law a lot. I had a lot of friends that dropped off the wayside.
It was me. You just wanted to help them get back on the right side of the fence.
I tried to help, Dan.
Hand off Johnson once again, and Johnson slips down in that ridiculous rule that if you're you were not touched, but you're down at the point where your knee hit.
Who do we talk to get that changed? I think me and you should start a petition.
It's only the second most ridiculous rule to this one. Here's the most ridiculous rule in the entire history of sports.
Okay.
I got that DirecTV, right?
Okay.
I watch the hockey all the time.
I know you do.
Tomorrow the Sharks are playing the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay.
For some ridiculous reason, Fox Sports is not televising it here. But I pay for the hockey package. I watch all the games.
Okay.
It's being televised. It's being televised back in Pittsburgh, and it'll be on the package. But we can't watch it here because it's not on our channel. Now you explain that to me.
Here we go.
Oh, here's a nice one. Castile for the first time tonight. Breaks free. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Antioch. Let's see the call on this. That's a 70-yard run for Castile, and that's a very positive happening for the Antioch Panthers.
Yes, it really is, Dan. And Castile was being able to show you his speed and what he could do. And, boy, I tell you what, that's got to fire up the team. You got to feel good for them Panthers on that. Yes, sir.
You can see that Castile will add some nice numbers to his stats, over 900 yards on the regular season. He's going to be a big cog in their offense, but it's just nice. 120 yards now for Castile rushing and both the Antioch touchdowns. It's just nice to see something positive happen.
Sure it is, and boy, I tell you what, he got into that secondary, and he's got some speed.
Soares on to attempt the extra point. And that kick is good. 62-13. So we still don't have as many points as we had last week, Steve. But
no, Dan, we don't. There. And they ran off the side with Ruben Luna and Paul Jovacchini and Ross Huggins, and they've been really big on Mr. Ross on that right side. And I talked to a couple of coaches. They said, "Hey, that guy's been." Let's watch this right side here, Dan. Little misdirection on the right side of the Panthers line. Big Ruben Luna blows up in a big hole, and right here it's just, well, off to the races, as we like to say. And nobody's going to catch him.
No, he was gone.
Except Sam DeSalle. Sam DeSalle. If he would have saw this play, he might have been in a car and drive over here and catch him.
He's been catching Kyle Foster in the Ignatia Valley Warriors,
yes,
I'm sure,
he has.
tonight.
I'm sure he has.
Another game going on this week. The AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, the North Coast Section Championships, are brought to you by great friends of the program here, A&B Creative Trophies in Antioch. Mazzei Pontiac in Antioch.
Thank you, Matt Mazzei.
Yes, sir. And RSC Rental Service Corporation, rental sales and service in Martinez. We'll see Matt Mazzei's son playing baseball at Clayton Valley this spring.
And may I say something? You and Whitman do a great job at calling baseball. Especially, I will give you a pat on the back. You can call a baseball game. I think you should call a baseball game professionally sometime. I think you do a good job.
If you
do a very good job.
Meet someone and tell them that, I would give you 10% of the salary they pay me. Little pooch kick here on, and the ball's on the ground, and they're going to call it down because his knee was down, but then he fumbled. They got to get rid of that rule, Steve. There are some ridiculous rules, though. There's a few in every sport. There's like a rule that you just kind of shake your head at.
And can I say something about OT?
No.
Here you go, Dan. Wait, coming up next. Look at.
Coming up next, CC Rock this month, the Scorpions. They're having a discussion on the field over this onside kick attempt.
Go ahead, Dan.
Here's the Scorpions, one of the great rock bands of our time.
I can tell you, Bob Ladisher does not like these guys.
You know what? Good.
Well, I'm just telling you. Go ahead.
Me and Matt, more tickets for me and Matt. That's like what my dad used to. I used to say, Dad, I don't like that kind of fight. I'd say, good. Okay. More for me.
I don't like him either. Go ahead. And what's going on here?
I think they're going to kick it again.
Okay.
I don't know why, but that's what it looks like. What were you going to say? Overtime and what, the NFL?
I just think of the NFL, what they should do is flip a coin. Okay, a team gets the ball, they go in and score. I think that other team, they should kick off again, and that team should have an opportunity to either match that score or beat them.
Well, let me tell you my rule, and this would be an
I don't like the
original
college
rule.
one, though.
No. Well, I like that. That's
I don't like
interesting. First team to 5. Okay, this is why. You kick a field goal, the other team gets a chance. But if you somehow got a safety, you would then win the game.
Look at this.
And what is that?
It's live. Now it's live. They got it.
What was that? They need to change the onside kick.
If that's the 10-yard thing, that should be Antioch's ball right there.
Well, where was it kicked from? I think
they're going to have another discussion here. Unless he kicked it 5 yards. If he rolled that thing 10 yards, that's Antioch's ball.
No, he didn't. They're going to call a first touch.
Yep, that's right. First touch.
Ball's awarded the receiving team. First down.
It's an illegal touch.
First touch.
Now think about it, though. They won't use some of the rules. Let's watch this again. Oh, that was That was not pretty.
You know what? What's that remind me of, Dan? Can you come up with
Your
something?
soccer career.
No, you know what that reminds me of right there? First time I carried the ball, I fumbled.
Oh, okay. After this, I'll tell you my overtime thing again. North Coast Section Playoffs, second round, next week. Check your local listings after this play. But I want you to think about it and why it would work, because the NFL hasn't thought of this one yet. That's the big key to that. Here's a pitch on first down.
Pick it up.
And Antioch has the ball.
Yep. And I did my little homer. Pick it up. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, here, we got to tell you right off, that's the third-string quarterback, and that is number 31, Anthony Gutierrez, whose brother, Matt, was a great quarterback here at De La Salle. But that pitch on first down, and now we're at least getting a little bit closer on the turnovers. That's the first one for De La Salle.
Well, damn, he's throwing a one-hitter. That's good. 6-1. Let's watch the replay right here. He gets hog-tied by number 82 from the Panthers, Dan. Brandon Francis, another big play for him.
Brandon Franks,
I'm sorry.
Who's a junior, and he'll be back next
year. And Victor Lopez, he recovers the ball here. And
let's see what Brett Fisher can do. He came in for one drive and led Antioch on a drive that ended in a 70-yard Castile run. Here's Johnson. Johnson has room outside. Johnson's at the 30, cuts back inside at the 20. Johnson he's still on his feet. Johnson! They're going to
mark him out. They're going to mark him out at about the 7-yard line.
They're marking him out of bounds at the 7-yard line. Steve, that was a 38-yard run. The last two Antioch plays went for 108 yards. Yep. Now, there's a lot of people who would say you're doing this against our second-string defense, but it's still very positive stuff.
Let's watch number 62, Nabidi out there. Big Josh, he makes a good block, and Castile just levels his man.
And 84.
And 84 does a good job. Who is 84, Dan? Makes a nice cut.
Giovanni Iniguez.
Iniguez! Did the Inigwe on him. And then right here, he just barely steps out right there, but he tried to type-rope. Number 14, for Chris
Bizot.
And like a fine Chris Bizot that's been chilled.
They just released the Bizots. And Fisher throws that one incomplete. All right, now, this is why I want you to think about this rule, okay? The reason why the NFL won't change the overtime is because they can't think of anything better than it's already out there.
Right.
They have the 6 points in the NFL Europe. They play 15 minutes of overtime in the CFL. In the Arena Football League, both teams get the ball, and in college, in high school, how they do it.
Right.
But if you made it 5 points, it would be unique. It would give both teams an opportunity, unless you go down and score a touchdown. If you score a touchdown, you
deserve to win.
Right. But if you kick a field goal, you don't. So that's the rule they should go.
I understand what you're saying. I don't have no problem with that.
Second down. Castile, who already has 2 touchdowns, cuts inside, and he's tackled at the 2-yard line. Nice tackle as Fujimoto came over, knock him off his feet. We're going to send it down to Tony with a report.
Hey guys, De La Salle doing it again. We talked earlier that they had beaten their playoff opponents by an average of 50-9. They're outdoing themselves here today, whipping up on Antioch. And guys, if it was a prize fight, they'd have stopped it.
I like Tony.
They would have Ken Shamrocked him right out of town.
I like Tony. I think he does a good job down there.
But you know what? Antioch would have said if you'd have stopped it, we wouldn't have got these 14 points possibly here in the last quarter. Little counter inside to Johnson, and Johnson tackled at the 1-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd and 1, and Antioch could go in and score their second touchdown of the fourth quarter.
Yes,
so they'd say, you know what? We get some positive stuff out of here. There's a reason why he's in the truck and we're up here, and that was that was one.
And and I wish people could hear like what we hear in our ears once in a while.
That's a first down for Antioch, as the ball is now. It's 4th down for Antioch at the 1-yard line. And Fisher, what was that? He did not get in. That was a very weird play. It looked like Fisher kind of buckled at the line of scrimmage. Yep. And De La Salle stops Antioch. Antioch was trying to go in for their second touchdown of the fourth quarter, and they're stopped. And with 5:18 to go in the fourth quarter, it's 62-13, Big Green Machine.
Yep.
And there's the band having a good time.
And there's the cheerleaders who's got to go, we're so tired of cheering. 63 points, I can't jump up no more. There you go, Dan, take it.
Here's the basketball schedule, January 14th. Camp Lindo at Acalanes, a boys and girls doubleheader to kick it off. We might add a couple of games to that. We'll let you know.
Sure we will. We always throw a twist into things, Daniel.
There's a keeper to get out of danger by Gutierrez. Now, Gutierrez was brought up as long as Zach McNally's son came up.
Yeah.
That's I'm sorry, Zach McNally, Frank McNally, who's
Frank McNally's son, who was a great middle linebacker at Antioch in the early '80s.
Went to school with Frank and Danny
late
Ladouceur,
70s, I'm sorry.
Bob Ladoseur's son. So
and Mr. Ladouceur has got a son who's a very good athlete, and he is going to be contributing to this program quite a bit in the future.
4:48 to go here. And this time a handoff inside. Good tackle that time by one of the Antioch players to try to get the numbers for you.
We'll be able to, Dan. This guy getting up right here. They're patting him on the back. Right there. There's your man, Dan, number 60.
Tackled Glasper, and that is Malacha Olivo. We're really starting to dig into the depths, aren't we?
Well, Daniel, that's why you get the big bucks. You're the play-by-play guy. And there's the Spartan cheerleaders, coached by Suzanne Smith.
Third and
her son is Cole Smith, the center.
Oh, well, there you go. There's a penalty flag on the play. This is Alvear. Alvear gets a first down. Head made the tackle, but there's a flag on the play.
I think you're going to get him in motion a little bit, Dan, here.
Let's see how good you are, Steve.
Let's see what we got.
Wow. Steve Sanchez, 630-3.
I'm having a good night, and I'm going to have a better night when I get that cherry pie with a la mode. When I'm with Robert.
And Dave Jackson. My partner, Dan Wall. We always go for pie after because you know what? We got so much to talk about.
They say life is a piece of cake. We disagree. We say life's a piece of pie.
Absolutely. I'd rather have pie
I'd rather have pie than cake any day of the week. Whoever came up with life's a piece of cake, I don't know what he's,
I thought it was life was a box of cherries.
No, that's a box of chocolate. That's Tom Hanks, whose cousin plays for De La Salle.
No, he doesn't.
Yes, he Oh, look at that block. Look at that kick-out block. I got to get that number. Number 79. He's going to be playing next year, Dan.
That's Jonathan Lyama.
Boy, what a big kick-out block.
Glasper with a nice run, but it just gets them out of danger at the 8-yard line. They'll be forced to punt for the second time tonight, and we'll have to check the record books to see the last time De La Salle punted twice in a game.
Let's see if we can't get that on replay, Matt. Let's see how good Matt is. And let's see if we can't get number big 79 here on the replay here on this kick-out block, Dan. And Matt's going to burn me. Okay, fine. You know, you think you know a guy. You know, you ask him for one little thing, one little replay. No, can't do it, Steve. We're looking at the cheerleaders. I hope Jonathan Martin's okay.
Let's see if he's down the sidelines.
Well, he's looking right at us.
He's looking right at us. There, he's right there, shooting the cheerleaders. He looks fine to me.
Let me see.
There's a cute
there's
little,
a future cheerleader. And look at the little booty gato hora barigoro.
What in the heck is a booty gato uda hada uda gato hoo? You know, there are times when you just go. It's like watching. You're like watching a rocket. There he is right there. And then the afterburner just goes off to the side.
Yeah, I know.
That's how you go sometimes.
Well, you know what? If you had kids, you'd know what a booty gato is.
Steve, I have nephews and nieces and a wife, and I watch television.
Nephews and nieces don't count. They're not in your house in your face all the time. Don't count, man. You're not even a human being.
I'm not a human being.
You don't have kids. That don't count. It's not fair.
Well, we were not blessed with the ability to have them. So.
Oh, okay. Now you're going to get deep on me. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, it's the truth. So I'm sure when Selena hears this, she'll stick another pin in the voodoo doll she has of you at home.
Well, I'll give you one of mine. If you really want one, you can have one.
Borrows Natalie's one that she uses. Straighton calls for a fair catch at the 47-yard line. Antioch has 2:40 to try to go in and get into the 20s.
Well, Dan, they've played a pretty decent second half. Antioch did. They go ahead, Dan, take care of business.
McGarry Motors, Humphreys on the Delta, Independent Copier Service, Antioch Automatic Transmission, Antioch Dental Group, building with Dr. H.J. Soto and Dr. P.L. Colston. Additional friends of the program with Pacific Pride Distribution, Joe's Food and Gas, Skips Copier, Pace Auto Sales, Narrow Road Design, Antioch Opticians, Rock Bottom Records, Images at 3 Hair Salon, Antioch Chiropractic, Golf and Games, S&S Imports, Trident Environmental Engineering, Antioch Armory, Pentel's Music Box, Best Book Insurance. I did all of them in the break.
That's good. Beswick Insurance, that is Terry Anello, and you know Jay Anello.
Yes, I do.
Jay Anello, that's Jay Anello's wife Terry, and Estelle Christensen. You know Estelle Christensen.
Oh, yes. She's married to Corey.
And she's married to Corey, who went to school with you. And she also works there, and I get to talk to them lovely girls almost every other day. And they do a good job for all your insurance needs, 23 West 7th Street, Antioch.
Purchase your copy of the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. A great memory to look back on today and into the future. $25 per tape. Call 933-6264. Steve, we've got a difficult decision to make here because Drew's already, and there's some, that looks like your size popcorn. Drew's already won our player of the game this year. We got to find another player to give it to for De La Salle. I think the Antioch decision is a pretty simple one and come up with the play of the game. So I'm going to write a few down for you while you talk and expand on the thoughts that I just gave you. And you go right ahead, Steve.
Okay, go ahead. You just start writing down. Antioch breaks the huddle. Brett Fisher, there's 2:40 to go in the game down. Brett Fisher, he's done a pretty darn good job since he's been in there. He's led them on a few drives. They got turned away last time.
Here's Johnson on first down. And Johnson's tackled behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 2 on that play.
Their defense did a very good job at stringing that out right there.
Go ahead, Steve.
I can't say his name, else I would. Wilhelmy?
You can't.
Chris Wilhelmy?
Wilhelmy.
Wilhelmy. Okay, I didn't want to mispronounce it.
You need a coach.
Well, that's what you're here for. James Burke comes out wide right.
You want to do play-by-play?
No, I'm letting you. I'm just waiting. You know, I weren't looking.
Well, I'm trying to do the player of the game, the play of the game, and all this other stuff. And actually, that was my player of the game right there, Brent Castile for Antioch, who's over 100 yards rushing.
Yes. Nice city for a football game, Dan. All through the whole Bay Area, all the big games going on all over through the Bay Area, all over California.
Well, you got the
great time of year.
Got the Cal-Stanford game, USC, UCLA this
all the
weekend.
big college rivalries going on.
First round of the high school playoffs. Fisher to throw over the middle, has a receiver. It's tipped. Intended for number 84 for Antioch. That's Giovanni Iniquez.
And that was a very nice pass by Brett. He really put it.
Steve?
What?
Poke your head out and tell me if you agree with my picks for player of the game. Oh. I'll tell you, it's difficult with you. Then you don't help. And then at the last minute you go, oh, no, it was that guy, as they're running them down. So here, you write down who you think the players of the game are.
I thought he couldn't get it.
It's the play of the game.
Oh, where's your player at?
1, 2.
Okay.
So Steve's going to tell us.
Are you going to do the play-by-play or just leave everybody hanging?
I'm trying to get all this business done. We need a better way to do this. It's a good thing that it's 62-13. Oh, okay. I agree with you. You're right. You're absolutely right. Minute 18 to go.
It's 4 for Sanchez and 600.
It's 6:30 to 4.
Yeah, I've got 3 tonight.
You're absolutely right on that one. And you agree on the other 2?
Yes, sir.
All right, there we go. We've got that business done. Denise will run it down to Tony, and he'll take care of those post-game interviews as Antioch gives the ball over on downs with 58 seconds to go. And this one's just about over, Steve. And you're right, it is difficult to call a game that's this lopsided.
Yeah, and you know, me and you, we've known each other a long time, and people don't realize it. People think there's tension in the booth. There's no tension with me and you. Me and you love each other. We're having a good time. And you know what? It is a hard game to call, but I think we did pretty good.
I'll tell you one thing. We've had other games that were bigger blowouts than this, where things got way
out of hand.
There wasn't even a play description done in the last
But you know
half.
what? When you come to the playoff, you want to try to give the kids all the recognition, and this is a #1 team in the nation. We had to show respect to them. I think we did. Coach Lattiser, I think he's going to be very happy with the production, with the camera angle. They'll be able to watch all this stuff, and even though they probably got better footage than we could do, this is De La Salle. But great job, and the Panthers don't got to hang their heads over nothing. Ferris Anthony's a great motivator, a great teacher over there.
He's a great motivator, too.
What did I say, motivator?
Yes, you did.
See, folks, what happens? I just keep going.
631-4. That'll do it. De La Salle wins. They're 136 in a row. The first-round playoff matchup against Antioch is the final. 62-13, De La Salle. We'll be back in 3 minutes to wrap it up on AT&T Broadband.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible by a generous donation from Brendan Dieters of Concord and Pittsburgh.
Flowers. What do you want your flowers to say?
There's a shot of the Antioch Panthers. Their season is over, Steve, as they lose to the #1 team in the nation, De La Salle, 62-13. But nothing for them to hang their heads over. They came out, they competed, and they'll go back, and a lot of those kids will be back next year.
Yeah, and you know, Dan, really, they could have played a lot better. They had a lot of mistakes, and they had a couple calls go their way, and a couple balls bounced the Spartans' way, which it seems like it always does with good teams. But no, they got nothing to be ashamed of, and they didn't play bad. I mean, they're up against the #1 team in the nation.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights in the second half. It was 42-6 at halftime. So De La Salle had 21 points to Antioch 7 in the second half. And here's Lapina, who is a quarterback for De La Salle in the second half, and Drew took this run 59 yards here, the first touchdown in the second half.
Yeah, and he just shows you right here what he's all made of. He just glides, and he makes it look so easy and so nice, and just a great athlete.
That was a 58-yard run. Check that. And here's the next touchdown. That's Lapina, a 1-yard run. The kick was no good though, which was we're going to go down on the field to Willie Glasper, our player of the game, with Tony.
Guys, I'm with Willie Glasper. A couple of big interceptions. He's our Rocco's Ristorani player of the game. Tell us about the picks. You look like you knew where the ball was going.
Yeah, I was just sitting back. Our D-line was getting a good push on the quarterback, and it made it easier for me to read the field.
Yeah, it looked like you were playing center field, not so much a man-to-man. You guys in a zone that time?
Yeah, both times we were.
Both times we were?
Yeah.
Great game and great season. Congratulations. Guys, we'll have Castile in just a moment. Let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Tony, and that was a good call on your part. You called that one. I think I said it early in the game. He was the player so far. But some honorable mention, Brett Cecil. Brett Cecil had a good game until he got injured. And defensively, Jenkins a good game as always. Fitzgerald had a good game. Of course, Maurice Drew's won our award before, and he had a great game for De La Salle.
Yes, he did.
And we'll have the stats on Drew after this. But, of course, Drew had 5 touchdowns in the game and over 200 yards rushing. Let's continue with the highlights. The next touchdown, that was a highlight.
Yeah, they're doing some push-ups, some band members.
This is Carlo Alvear running the veer, and now he veers into the end zone. I just had to do that once again.
Well, you did, and you did the 3V. And
that's Alvear in the veer and a touchdown. 62-6 at that time. And then really a big highlight for Antioch and a great run by Brett Castile. Closed out the scoring for the Antioch Panthers on this 70-yard run, and I hope we have it because, and we do.
And here it is. Matt doing wonders in the truck. And they're just breaking through the line, and right here, there's nobody there. And this shows you his speed right here, Dan, and nobody's going to catch him right here. Castile, he can pretty much put on the Jets, too. Fastest player ever to play in the backfield of Antioch High School history.
70-yard run for Castile made it 62-13, and that's our final score tonight from Diablo Valley College. I think we're waiting for Brett Castile. He's coming over to Tony. And let's show you quickly the play of the game. And this is the first touchdown run for Drew, and he'll get a dozen flowers from Jory's Flowers as the play of the game. This is back in the first half, and a great run right here. Great speed.
Just a great run, kind of like a misdirection. He comes on the left-hand side, Dan, and, you know, he makes all the right moves when he gets in the secondary. He doesn't make a mistake.
That's the end of the highlights. We're going to send it back to Tony. He's with Antioch's Brent Castile.
Okay. Guys, I'm with our Rocco's Ristorani player of the game from Antioch, Brent Castile. Brent, tell us about that big run, first of all.
Well, I mean, I seen the big hole. My line was struggling all game to get a hole. So I guess they got it in there. They got it in there, made the big block. So I told them I was going to get it done after. Yeah. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it all game, but it's okay.
Yeah, it took a while to get going, but you finally found a hole. You finally got that big run. Tell me about the blocking up front.
The blocking, I mean, we worked all week long on De La Salle's line. The line is just strong. I mean, I tried to hit one of them, you know, they strong. But the line, we did good. We did better than we expected, so, I mean, that's all we can ask.
Well, after a couple of down seasons, you guys had a winning season. That must be satisfying for you, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I helped the team out a lot. I mean, it was all about making wins, you know. We stuck together as a team every day. We had a team meeting before practice. We knew what we had to do going into a game. So, I mean, we stayed as a family.
Antioch finishes 6-5. Brent Castile, our Rocco's Ristorani player of the game. Brent, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
There you go. We'll be back down with Maurice Drew, the play of the game, in just a minute. Guys, back upstairs.
And let's just quickly, while we wait for Maurice Drew to come over, I just wanted to point out that Antioch did have a great season, 6-4 in the league. They lose to De La Salle, the #1 team in the nation. Nothing to be embarrassed by there. But they also will have a great team next year.
Oh, yes,
now,
they're coming back.
Matt says we have another play of the game. And this is the AT&T broadband play of the game.
And John gets our cameraman of the year for this.
And he also gets a free Diet Pepsi for me anytime he wants it.
And he's going to get early an appointment at Kaiser Hospital tomorrow. I've already got him one set up because I got connections there. And right here.
I'm waiting for Maurice Drew on the sidelines to show up with Tony, and here he is.
Here's Jonathan.
Man, that was painful.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to send it down to Tony with Maurice Drew. He had our Jory's Flowers play of the game.
All right, guys, the Jory's Flowers play of the game goes to Maurice Drew in that 45-yard run, a touchdown run. And tell us about the big play.
Well, I mean, the lineman came out and blocked him. I told him as long as they blocked that, I was going to work as hard as I can. And, I mean, as long as they block them, try to break tackles and make them look good. So that's what we tried to do today. That's what I tried to do.
You've made so many great plays this year. Tell us, what's it like playing for a team that never loses?
Well, I mean, it's hard because everybody comes out and guns for you every game. And, I mean, we had to take the beating every game. And, I mean, the linemen, as long as they come out and block, I mean, for our running backs, I mean, we're going to go out there and try to do what we do.
Yeah, great game, and another great season for De La Salle. Our Jory's Flowers play of the game. Maurice, congratulations. Guys, back upstairs.
Hello, there we are. Tony, a great job as always on the sideline. We'll see you next week. Maurice Drew coming to a college near you.
And you know what, Dan? He gets a dozen red roses.
Roses.
You
talk like Don Rickles for some reason. Stats in tonight's game. Antioch had 300 yards of total offense as we take a look at the final stats tonight. 301 to 465, 371 yards rushing. Steve, I'm going to go way out on a limb and tell you once again, 6 turnovers. That's really the ball game right there.
Yeah, and they, like I said, they had a couple breaks go their way, and the ball bounced De La Salle's way early. Not that it would have mattered, but it could have helped them with a little bit of confidence and made it a little bit more competitive. But you're up against the #1 team in the nation, and we're glad we were able to bring it to you guys.
You know that we've had 225 points and almost 1,900 yards of total offense in the last 3 games.
Well, me and you, we've always liked to pick them up and go.
Here are the stats. Drew, 215 yards and 5 touchdowns. Bates had 34 yards rushing. Glasper, our player of the game with the 2 big interceptions, also had 48 yards rushing. Cecil just 2 of 4 for 29. Lapina 3 of 3 for 65.
Right.
And as you look at Lapina and his stats, he is the I think he's the heir apparent. For some reason, I take the roster off the internet, doesn't have the year.
Right. Okay.
So I'm sorry. There's some of our folks here, and there's we're getting ready for Christmas. Yeah, we're getting ready for Christmas.
That scares me.
Colvin had 1 reception for 40 yards. Fitzgerald 2 for 29 for De La Salle. For Antioch, Castile, a very good game. 15 rushes for 130 yards and both touchdowns. Brown had 7 carries for 63 yards. Dixon 10 for 27. Loma was 3 of 10 for 15. No one caught a pass for 11, and Castile caught 2 passes for 4 yards. As we get ready to wrap this one up and get ready for next week's semifinal game, check your local listings. We'll tell you where we'll be in the Contra Costa Times. As always, as we get ready to roll our credits, the producer and director and van driver and accountant.
And Metal Matt Man.
Is Metal Matt Bolander. Morgan Kuhn on graphics in the truck as always.
Thanks for the tapes, Morgan.
Johnny Woo, and as always.
He wooed me.
Yes. Jonathan Martin, our cameraman of the year.
The late Jonathan Martin.
And there's Metal Matt. Joseph Ocon on camera tonight. Jeremy Mansker, ZZ Top.
ZZ Top, Jeremy.
Here's Matt and that's Morgan in there. Matt Johnson. Matt was the guy salivating.
Yeah.
We're going to dedicate the new saliva video to
and
him.
We're going to take him to the vet to get his shots for next week.
Mike Harrell on camera. Joel Madsen on data. What did he do?
I don't know, but he's related to the Madsen who plays for the Lakers. A lot of people don't know that.
Robert DeCambria on stats. And he's related to the DeCambria I saw hanging out down by the warehouse on 2nd Street. What's that all about? There's Dave Jackson on stats.
And Denise. She's so cute.
Yes, she is. And there she is.
There she is. There's her name and her face. Yeah.
And there we are up in the booth, waving, red light going. Special thanks to Ron Carter for help on graphics as always. Dave Jackson, Joel Madsen, Robert DeCambria. Special thanks to Ferris Anthony. Good season, Coach. We'll be seeing you for wrestling in March and next year out here again. And head coach Bob Law, Sir Terry Edson, the entire staff at De La Salle High School. Special thanks as always to Diablo Valley College for allowing us to come in and bring you this great game. Might be back here. And special thanks to the CIF North Coast section for allowing us to bring you this great game. Of course, Dan and Steve in the booth as always.
Coach Ward.
Yes, it is. And the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, the North Coast Section Championships. were made possible by a generous donation from Rocco's Restaurant and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Rocco's voted the best pizza by the readers of the Contra Costa Times. Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, featuring the best in first-run feature films, including the new James Bond movie.
Me and my boy will be there.
Jory's Flowers of Concord and Walnut Creek, floral arrangements for all occasions. The Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead, remember, it's free, easy, and cool to recycle used oil and filters. A&B Creative Trophies, specializing in awards, Letterman jackets, embroidery, and team trophies on West 6th Street in Antioch. Mazet Pontiac on West 10th Street in Antioch, the biggest little auto dealer in the West, and RSC Rental Service Corporation of Martinez, scissor lifts, lighting, and other equipment for the petrochemical industry at 4030 Pacheco Boulevard in Martinez. Next week, check your local listings for the North Coast Section playoff game. We'll bring it to you next Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. on your community access channel for AT&T Broadband. Don't forget the North Coast Section 3A and 4A East Bay Football Championships. I keep wanting to say Foothill.
I know. Go ahead, Daniel.
December 7th, 4 and 7:15 p.m. at the Oakland Coliseum. Make sure you're out there. We'll try to maybe get there to bring you a game as well.
We'll do our best.
For Steve Sanchez, this is Dan Wall reminding you of tonight's final score. De La Salle wins its 136th in a row, 62-13. This has been a high school sports production from AT&T Broadband in Walnut Creek.
Happy Thanksgiving and good night, everybody.